homecoming today for Philadelphia native and Atlanta Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan. What a tremendous sports weekend in Philadelphia. Baseball, game 1 of the NLCS last night. Game 2 tonight. But first, a matchup of two first-place teams in the NFC. It's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons on Fox. And a good afternoon, everybody. We welcome you to the NFL on Fox. I'm Kenny Albert, along with Darryl Johnston. Tony Saragusa will join us as well. Philadelphia Eagles with a record of 3-2, tied atop the NFC East. And Darryl, once again today, Kevin Cobb starts at quarterback for the injured Michael Vick.
Well, we knew 2010 was going to be a season of transition for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Donovan McNabb era came to an end, and they went with a very young roster. And since the start of the season, there's been a flip-flop at quarterback. They've had some injuries in the offensive line, but they have a very explosive skill group. And this team can just hang together and gel as the season moves on. They could be a team to watch out for down the stretch.
And another team to watch out for, the Atlanta Falcons, record of 4-1. They've won 4 consecutive games, and 3 of their 5 games have gone right down to the last play.
Well, a lot of people will say Atlanta could be easily 1-4 just as they are 4-1, but that's football. It's a game of inches, and Atlanta is 4-1 because they're making the critical plays during the course of the game that lead them to wins, and that's why I feel that the Atlanta Falcons are the most consistent team in the NFL at this point.
Should be fun. Great day coming up on Fox. A football doubleheader and then baseball. Goose, grab a pom-pom. Tony Saragusa up next, right after this Verizon NFL Mobile Update.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Beautiful day in Philadelphia, 67 degrees. Perfect football weather. Perfect baseball weather. Game 2 of the NLCS across the street tonight. The Atlanta Falcons 4-1. They have started the season 5-1 only 3 times. The Eagles 7-1 against the Falcons under Andy Reid, including postseason. Eagles looking for their first home win this season. 0-2 here, 3-0 on the road. Across the way, Mike Smith in his 3rd season as Falcons head coach.
Now, one of the reasons I think the Atlanta Falcons have gotten off of that 4-1 start, very fundamentally sound. And Goose, I'm surprised the way they play defense. You would think that Mike Smith, his time in Baltimore with Rex Ryan, that they would be an aggressive, in-your-face defense, but they're not.
No, they aren't, Dal. Mike Smith likes to go and let the players play. He keeps it simple. He doesn't put a lot on their plate. If something isn't working in practice, he takes it out. Completely different than what Rex Ryan does with the Jets. But don't ever think about this. Mike Smith does have that in his arsenal. If he needs to pick out something exotic to put pressure, he will pick it out. But right now, I would expect to see those front 4 guys rushing the passer and playing a very relaxed defense like Mike Smith likes.
All right, Goose, the Falcons have won the toss. David Akers gets things started. Eric Williams will take a knee. So Matt Ryan, the local product, will lead the Falcons out. They will start from their own 20.
Intangibles off the chart for Matt Ryan. I mean, when you sit down in a room and talk to him, it's amazing that he's just in his 3rd season here in the NFL. And you know, I met him actually before he was even drafted out in Arizona at the Super Bowl, and was very, very impressed with him there. He continues to grow and mature from season to season.
He's a leader out there, Dal. That's one thing. This young 3rd year in the league, he comes out here, he commands respect from his offense.
And Ryan hands it off to Michael Turner, the 6th leading rusher in the National Football League, and he goes nowhere.
Well, this is a run-first football team with Michael Turner, Obi Mihaly at fullback. They get Michael Jenkins back into the lineup for the first time this season. Lost him early in training camp. Tony Gonzalez, the guy to watch. How do they match up? This 5 right here, I think one of the more consistent offensive lines in the NFL. They are relentless. They might hit you a little bit after the whistle, but they'll keep you thinking all afternoon.
2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line again. It's Turner. This time gains 2. Out to the 22-yard line, so a 3rd down and 8 coming up for the Falcons against the 15th-ranked Eagles defense.
Antonio Dixon gets the start for Broderick Bunkley, who is out today. Eagles got some better news, might not lose him for the season. Here's a key area right here, the linebackers. How do they match up with Tony Gonzalez in the passing game? And there's a secondary. Nate Allen is doing a great job as a rookie. This is a very complicated defensive scheme, and he's handled everything that they've given to him during the season so far.
Gonzalez split out to the left. Jenkins to the right. Movement prior to the snap. Walt Coleman, our referee today.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons just changed personnel right there, and I'm sure that that play on 3rd and 9 was a down and distance call, but I would have stayed with it. I would have kept that exact same play called because you had Stuart Bradley versus Tony Gonzalez on the outside, split from formation, one-on-one. I'll take that matchup all afternoon.
Now on 3rd down and 3 wide receivers all split out to the right. Ryan down back at the 18-yard line. Randy just mentioned Darryl Stuart Bradley.
Yeah, you had Stuart Bradley split out covering Tony Gonzalez on the previous snap. Now he's back inside at his middle linebacker spot. He's going to come right through the A-gap untouched. Harvey Dahl's got to recognize that a lot quicker. They're going to get a little bit of everybody after Tony Gonzalez. He's got 3 players around him. They understand the importance of keeping him in check in the passing game.
You better get used to that, Darryl, because that's what he's going to be seeing all day. They do not want Tony Gonzalez to get started today.
Falcons 3 and out on their opening drive. Michael Kanan punting from his own 8-yard line. Sean Jackson will stay away from it. Great field position for the Eagles. 34-yard punt. Eagles will start from their own 47-yard line as Kevin Cobb leads the Philadelphia offense onto the field.
And you heard Jay Glazier during the pregame show. If Kevin Cobb comes out and has a nice game today, it's going to bode well for the Eagles because I think they will allow Michael Vick to sit next week. They've got the bye after that, and the more time you can keep Michael Vick from taking a big hit, the better it is going to be for your team down the stretch. I was impressed with Kevin Cobb against San Francisco last week. I don't like the game management coin phrase. I just thought he did a good job working within the system that Marty Mornhinweg had put in place and played very well.
Cobb with time on 1st down. He fires complete in Falcons territory to the 31-yard line. It's Jeremy Maclin for a gain of 22 yards.
And this is one of the things that Atlanta is going to have to guard against. When you play Philadelphia, almost every defensive coordinator, almost every defensive player will say, hey, the first thing we have to do is stop the run. But that's not true against Philadelphia. The biggest concern you have is the big play down the field. They cannot allow Jeremy Maclin and Deshaun Jackson to have explosive plays. They'll concentrate on the run, but Philadelphia challenges you in different ways. We'll get to that throughout the course of the game. Right there's one of them.
Around to Deshaun Jackson inside the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown.
You know, Tony, I think it's always funny when people want to run and end around or reverse. They always want to check and see how the backside's playing first. Give you that fake look and then decide whether they do it. I say go ahead and do it right out of the game. We're going to challenge back here on the backside. Jonathan Abraham gets up the field, but then he turns and chases down the line of scrimmage. At the beginning of the game, Tony, we talked about fundamentals. Right there, Atlanta, not fundamentally sound. They give up a big touchdown run.
John Abraham has to keep his shoulders square to come back out of that. That's exactly what happened. He turned his shoulders, short corner. That's what's going to happen all day if he turns his shoulders.
David Akers, the extra point, 3rd career rushing touchdown for Deshaun Jackson.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Eagles score a touchdown on their opening drive for the third time this season. After the Falcons went 3 and out, it took the Eagles only 2 plays.
And that's what you have to guard against when you play the Philadelphia Eagles. Their running game is really going to be kind of the draws, some end-arounds, reverses, that gadget-type play. They'll incorporate the boot pass, the screen pass. That takes the place of a power running game for the Eagles.
Eric Weems takes it out. Turns the corner. Forced out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Well, we talked fundamentals at the top, but I want to watch John Abraham right here. He's going to get up the field and then come hard down the line. He's got contained. He's got to be up the field to prevent the end around. Exactly the play that came at him. And right here at the tail end, looks like Atlanta had an opportunity to challenge. Looks like Deshaun Jackson's forearm might have been down before he broke the plane.
The Falcons trail early. They'll start from their own 25-yard line. Game 2 of the National League Championship Series tonight. Roy Oswalt, Jonathan Sanchez, the pitching matchup on Fox. Michael Turner on first down. Turner all the way out to the 34-yard line. 8 of 9, 140 yards on the ground for Turner last week against Cleveland.
He had his breakout game last week, and now this is coming off of a season last year where Michael Turner was in and out of the starting lineup. Matt Ryan was in and out of the starting lineup. They were able to hang on, finish 9 and 7, and they seem like one of those teams that's kind of built off their performance in 2009, have come back and have just played real sound fundamental football throughout the course of the first 5 weeks of the season.
Falcons went to the playoffs in Mike Smith's first season. Put together back-to-back winning seasons for the first time, and here's Turner. He is close to a first down. Quentin Michael made the tackle.
You know, Moose, Michael Turner looks a little bit like a fullback back there. You know, he's very patient in the backfield, but when he sees that hole, he explodes. One guy isn't going to take him down.
No, and he's got some sneaky breakaway speed too, Tony. You know, he does have.
What are you saying, fullbacks you normally don't?
Yeah, we only have to break away for like 4 or 5 yards at a time.
Falcons split their fullback over to Haley, out to the right. Ryan fires downfield, and the catch is made by Michael Jenkins. His first reception this season. Missed the first 5 games due to a shoulder injury suffered early in camp, and Jenkins takes it 42 yards.
Well, obviously they've been able to build some chemistry at practice. Watch this throw and catch. Get the head around, and the ball is on you right away. Now watch Michael Jenkins. Understand your opponent. Philadelphia is excellent at taking the ball away. At the end of the run, make sure you don't turn it over.
He covers that ball up. Excellent. Watch right here. As soon as he feels a couple defenders, he brings it up in front. Covers it up with 2 hands. That's ball protection.
Ellis Hobbs, the injured Eagle.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Getting ready across the street for Game 2 of the National League Championship Series tonight, following the Giants' Game 1 victory over the Phillies last night.
Yeah, what a beautiful ballpark. How'd those Giant fans get in that picture? Come on, what happened to the Phillies? San Francisco Giant fans stealing the show.
Somehow stuck in. 1st and 10 from the Eagles' 23. As Ryan throws, intended for Michael Jenkins. Asante Samuel on the coverage. It was Samuel who was involved in that collision just prior to the break with Ellis Hobbs.
And you got to see what you hit. Watch Ellis Hobbs, 31, come in and actually helmet-to-helmet contact with his teammate, Asante Samuel. Keep those eyes up, all you little guys out there. Make sure you see what you hit.
And remember, Samuel missed the Eagles game against San Francisco last Sunday due to a concussion. He returns today. Second and 10 from the 23-yard line. This is Jason Snelling. And Snelling stopped for no gain as we check in for the first time today with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
After Matt Forte scored to put the Bears up 7-0 on the opening possession, Matt Hasselbeck hooked up with Deion Butler for a 22-yard score to answer that one. It's 7-7 Bears and Seahawks in the first quarter. Very early. Kenny Moose and start the pregame show, Tony Sangucci.
Yes, he was, Kurt. Bears, one of the other 4-1 teams, along with the Falcons, Ravens, and Jets. 3rd down and 10. Ryan from the shotgun. steps up and throws, and it's broken up. Terrific play by Samuel. Pass intended for Michael Jenkins.
Philadelphia Eagles gave Matt Ryan a lot to think about with Tony Gonzalez. Michael Jenkins is down on the bottom. He's going to work that side of the field one-on-one against Asante Samuel. Good tight coverage. The reason he went away, there's double pressure there. There's the hot route check. There's Stuart Bradley running out underneath it. A lot of different looks against Tony Gonzalez. I think that confused Matt Ryan a little bit on that throw.
Yeah, he had him there for a little while.
He sure did.
So now it's Matt Bryant from 41 yards out. Off the left upright, no good. You heard the ding. Falcons come away with nothing.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Jeep, by Rogue Skyline. On November 12th, our first encounter will be our last stand. And by FedEx. We understand you need a winning game plan. FedEx.
Back in Philadelphia, Eagles out to a 7-0 lead. Matt Bryant hit the left upright just moments ago on his first attempt of the afternoon from 41 yards out.
Our kicking guru, Tony Siragusa, said that he just hit that one fat. There was
Little
nothing
fat.
wrong. Nothing wrong with the hold, nothing wrong with the plant.
Not a lot of wind either. You know, there's a little bit of dust outside, but inside the stadium right now it's pretty calm.
So now the Eagles back to work from their own 31-yard line. Cobb's pass sails through the hands of the rookie out of Air Force, Chad Hall. We never had a chance to introduce you to the Eagles offense because they scored in 2 plays.
And here's some of those explosive guys. We've already seen Jeremy Maclin, Deshaun Jackson, Owen Schmidt in the lineup now. Leonard Weaver lost for the season in week 1. And here's the group that's really had some change. King Dunlop will be the key today. He's going to go up against John Abraham. How does Philadelphia make sure that that does not become an issue with the protection?
King Dunlap, 6'9", making his first NFL start. Center. 2nd and 10. Sean McCoy, nice cutback. And he gains 8. Out to the 39-yard line. Let's take a look down at the Atlanta Falcons defense.
And again, right now, you know, a group that I was impressed with on film, not very fundamentally sound. Right now, Corey Peters inside with Jonathan Babineau. Troy Bierman, that great athletic play last week. Stephen Nicholas gets the start for Sean Witherspoon. Dante Robinson, a great addition in the offseason. This is a group that really struggled for Atlanta last season. They had a lot of problems with their secondary that really shored them up this season.
Some more trickery from the Eagles on 3rd and 2. A first down and more on the toss to Deshaun Jackson, who takes it to the Falcons 47, a gain of 13 yards.
We talked about the matchup with King Dunlop and also Jonathan Abraham. They are coming at him in so many different ways. Watch Kevin Cobb on this reverse. He's going to be the guy that's responsible to get out and get that edge sealed. We saw the reverse on the first play that challenged his contain. They did a quick pass where King Dunlap went down and cut him, and they had a running back right behind him to make sure that that was secure.
Another nice run by LaShawn McCoy. He gains 9. Let's check in on the Saints and the Buccaneers with Kurt.
On the pregame TV set, the Saints need to go deep more. Well, they do. To Lance Moore, 41 yards of reception from Drew Brees, and they lead the Bucs in Tampa midway through the first quarter. Kenny Moose and Deuce.
All right, thanks, Kurt. The Eagles on the move. They lead 7-0. 2nd down and 1 from the Falcons 39. This is Chad Hall, who shifted into the backfield. Took the handoff from Cobb. Gains 5 yards and another Eagles first down.
This Eagles offensive line right now is firing off very well. They're controlling the line of scrimmage. Atlanta, their 4 down linemen right now, are not doing a great job of penetration or even getting off blocks to try and slow down the runner. And also the linebackers. That front 7 right now are playing like a bunch of individuals. They need to go and play together and start clogging up this hole in order to stop this running game.
Wide receivers with 3 of the 5 carries for the Eagles. Cobb, end zone. Touchdown. The second for Deshaun Jackson. 34 yards.
That's what happens when the run game is going so well. You can go and change it up. Cobb does a great job of finding his receiver downfield and making that play.
I tell you what, right now, Tony, this Philadelphia team has given Atlanta so many things to think about in this early part of the game. We've seen reverses, end-arounds, deep shots down the field. Very, very dynamic game plan by Marty Morningweg.
Sean Jackson is everywhere.
The Eagles guys averaging 15 yards per play. Jackson with a pair of touchdowns, a 31-yard run, and now a 34-yard reception. 14-0 Philadelphia. The Eagles with touchdowns on their first 2 drives, a 2-play drive, and now 6 plays, 69 yards. Deshaun Jackson with a pair of touchdowns, and you never know who might show up with Goose downstairs.
Need all the help I can get, Kenny.
It's Phillies first baseman Ryan Howard. Game 1 of the NLCS, of course, last night. Game 2 tonight. And Ryan enjoying the view from the end zone along with Goose. Eagles enjoying it as well. Welcome back. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Eagles leading the Falcons 14-0. Eagles with touchdowns on their first 2 possessions. And now the Falcons go to work from their own 20-yard line. Falcons went 3 and out on their opening drive, and then a missed field goal. Ryan dumps it off to Michael Palmer, the rookie tight end out of Clemson. Gain of 2 as we check in downstairs with Goose and Ryan Howard. Ryan, you giving Goose some pointers downstairs today in the end zone?
I'm just down here. I'm learning, man. Just watching and learning right now.
You're my rookie today.
Yeah, I'm the intern right here. I'm the new guy.
I'm a little thirsty right now. You might get me a bottle of water.
Hey, we'll get somebody on that ASAP.
Now 2nd down and 8. Jason Snelling, the lone back. Ryan moves to his right, dumps it off to Snelling, and he's tackled at the 29-yard line by Antonio Dixon.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
What do you think about the size and the speed of the guys down in the field? Every time we have people that come to an NFL field for the first time, they're amazed at how quick and how big the guys are.
Yeah, it's a lot different actually being down on the field and just seeing how big some of these guys are. They're just massive. I'd pretty much know I'd have no shot out there, so I was trying to figure out what I might play, but I think I'll play the sideline. Just watch these guys.
Yeah, you feel a lot better the day after a game, I'll tell you. Look at you, you're smiling, hanging out. These guys tomorrow will be in ice tubs.
Turner stopped on 3rd and 1. Great penetration by Trent Cole.
Well, Tony, I think you're exactly right. One of the things that we haven't seen from this Atlanta team is being dominated at the line of scrimmage the way they are today. Both sides of the ball. Mike Smith impressed with his team the way through the first 5 games of the season. They've kind of won those battles down in the trenches. Not the case today.
Michael Kanan hunting for the 2nd time. Jordan Calvin back deep for the Eagles. End over end punt taken at the 40 by Calvin. And he's tackled by Corey Bierman after a short gain. Once again, terrific field position, Darryl, for the Eagles.
We talked about the battle in the trenches, and for the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the surprising things, them winning the battle with their offensive line against Atlanta's defensive line, is the amount of shuffles. Watch this. Here's what your preseason projection was. We lose right guard Stacey Andrews to Nick Cole. Then Jamal Jackson goes down in week 1, loss for the season. Mike McGlynn had some snaps in preseason. Then Max Gene Gillis goes into right guard, and then the big one last week, Jason Peters has that knee scope. King Dunlap takes over at left tackle, and the game plan that Marty Morningweg and Andy Reid have put together, the amount of looks that they've forced John Abraham to process at the snap, pretty impressive. Antone Smith is the Atlanta Falcon who's down on that last punt.
You know, Darryl, talking about that offensive line, King Dunlap is a guy that I've been trying to keep my eyes on. He's been doing a really good job. The guy is mammoth. His legs are probably 6 foot tall. It's unbelievable. But he's doing a good job of getting out there, getting his body in areas where he's making a difference downfield with the defensive backs. and he's moving pretty well. So I want to keep an eye on him the rest of the game.
Antone Smith helped off to the Falcons locker room.
Well, he's the gunner on the outside to see him come in, and it just looks like he gets that right shoulder caught, kind of pulled back a little bit. Ryan Howard sounds like he's having some fun down there.
He is, man. He's learning very well, man. He's doing the chant with the people in the stands. They're going crazy down here.
Well, let me ask you this, Ryan. Having grown up in St. Louis, were you a fan of the greatest show on turf, the '99 Rams?
You know what? I was. I grew up watching those guys, and it was just a fun thing to watch. And, you know, I see that now they've kind of gotten things together, getting Bradford back there, so they're looking pretty good.
Here's Cobb, play action on first down. Pass is caught by Jason Avant, and he gains 9 into Falcons territory.
Just a little baseball thing.
Game 2 tonight, Jonathan Sanchez and Roy Oswald. How was it standing in there in the box last night, Ryan, against Tim Lincecum?
You know, he's one of the greatest pitchers in the game right now, and, you know, he was pretty tough last night, had some good stuff going for him. And, I mean, last night was a good game. We just had some missed opportunities and trying to ride it tonight.
Sean McCoy, first down out of bounds at the 41.
He's a great pitcher, but he looks like a little kid, doesn't he?
Yeah, but
looks like he's 12 years old. That dude, he has a windup.
I mean, he's so calm and cool under pressure. He just goes out there and just kind of does his thing. And, you know, like I say, he was mixing the pitches up pretty well. And, you know, he got some big outs when he needed them.
Well, how about the feel of the team, Ryan? Because you guys, you don't find yourself down one game in many series the last few years here in Philadelphia.
Oh, I mean, we're still very confident in our ability. We know this is one game we've been down before in a series, but you know, the only thing we can do is go out there and try and get this game tonight.
Well, Ryan, we appreciate you coming over across the parking lot. Best of luck tonight, and feel free to stay down there with Goose as long as you'd like.
Oh, I appreciate it. I think I'll go and try and call some plays if I can.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
He's fitting in very well down here, guys. Don't worry.
Never know who might show up, Darryl, with Goose downstairs.
We better warn Ryan about Tony spelling, though. If he's going to be spelling Eagles, he should follow Tony's lead. He might get some bad information.
It's written down in the end zone. I got it.
Eagles force back, now first down and 15. Here's McCoy to the 43-yard line. Gain of 3 with 3.5 remaining in this first quarter. Eagles leading the Falcons 14-0. We check in on the Giants and the Lions with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
The old Ryan Howard is big enough to play football, I think. Brandon Jacobs still is. He runs this one in from 4 yards out. The Giants come back to tie Detroit at 7. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Giants with big wins over the Bears and Texans look to make it 3 in a row. 44-yard line, Cobb over the top. Brent Selleck unable to make the catch.
He had a couple of those last week against San Francisco, too, and that's just basic fundamentals. It looks like Brent Selleck's getting ready to run before he's got that catch secured. Boy, it gets into your head, too, you know? You start putting a couple of them on the ground, and all of a sudden you find yourself spending about a half an hour on the jugs machine after practice the next week.
Got 9 balls thrown his way. The game against San Francisco, caught only 3. 3 wide receivers set, 3rd down and 12. Cobb, a pump fake, down he goes. Back at the 48-yard line. The first round pick a year ago, Paray Jerry with his first career sack.
And Tony talked about it at the top. You know, Mike Smith defensively will be fundamentally sound, but if he's going to dial up a pressure, he can get there. And right there, Philadelphia, with their play call, had a lot of guys going out. Could not block that Atlanta Falcon defensive front. They had them outnumbered.
Yeah, they had 5 guys on the line of scrimmage and looked like they were leaving for a screen and left a little bit too early. The Eagles' offensive line, and they're going to come. They're going to bring pressure. We're going to find ways to go and try to go and put some pressure in Cobb's face. So this game isn't over by far.
Rocca with a terrific punt. Out of bounds at the 12-yard line. 37 yards, angled to the sidelines. Coming up next on the second half of your NFL on Fox doubleheader, the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings, both teams in desperate need of a victory coming up after the Eagles and the Falcons on Fox. What's the buzz down in Dallas, your hometown?
Well, I tell you right now, it is getting tenuous down in Dallas. That their performance against Tennessee last week, I think, took everybody by surprise. They had a nice game down in Houston going into their bye week. I don't think anybody anticipated that lackluster performance they had in Dallas against the Titans last weekend.
Michael Turner on 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Turner takes it out to the 17 for a gain of 5. So the Cowboys and Vikings up next on Fox, followed by the OT, and then game 2, Phillies and Giants. 2nd down and 5 for the Falcons, who have punted twice. Their biggest play of the day, a 42-yard pass from Ryan to Jenkins, and then Matt Bryant at the left upright on a 41-yard field goal attempt on their 2nd drive.
Well, we've talked about how well the Eagles offense has been handling Jonathan Abraham. Defensively, we have to compliment this group of Eagles and their performance against Tony Gonzalez. Done a nice job keeping him in check up to this point.
No receptions for Gonzalez. This pass intended for Harry Douglas. Ellis Hobbs back in the game on the coverage. Hobbs shaken up earlier.
It's a big cushion on the outside. There's your slant. Ellis Hobbs jumps it. He was a little bit behind. Harry Douglas catches that ball, breaks that tackle. There was nobody there. So Ellis Hobbs took a shot at it, but he was on the backside of that slant. He's lucky that Harry Douglas didn't pull that one in. He might still be running.
Roddy White split out to the right. White without a reception today as well. Ryan looking his way, now looks left, can't find anyone. Takes off, and is tackled a yard shy of the marker by Darryl Tapp. So for the 3rd time in this 1st quarter, the Falcons sent out their punting unit.
Atlanta does a good job of actually challenging defenses with the number of things they do on 3rd down. Got to give a lot of credit to Philadelphia right now. Great coverage, nowhere for Matt Ryan to go down the field. This is very unusual to see this Atlanta offense struggle the way they have sustaining drives.
I think they're having a hard time dealing with that Eagles speed on defense. I'll tell you, they are running to the ball. They're doing whatever they can to go and stop this Atlanta offense.
Falcons' 3rd 3 and out of this 1st quarter. Sean Jackson tripped up at the 47-yard line by Coy Wire, only a 37-yard kick. Today's aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. Eagles with a 14-0 lead over the Falcons. Game 1 of a huge day here on Fox.
Well, right now, the field position battle is being won by Philadelphia, and the way that all 3 phases are functioning, their offense is scoring points, they're kicking off, doing a good job with coverage, defense is making a stand, and right now Michael Kanan is not doing a good job with his punch. You can see the difference in the scoring potential and the field position that Philadelphia has. They're at their own 47. So you can see that the chances of going up for scoring points much higher. They're getting out towards midfield. They've had a couple of drives start out in this part of the field already today.
Cobb on 1st down to a wide open Jeremy Maclin.
Kevin Cobb talked to us on Friday, and he said the one film that he watched during the course of the week for prep against Atlanta was Drew Brees, and how patient he was, how calm he was with his progressions. There were opportunities to find the holes in this Falcon defense, and he's doing just that this afternoon up until this point. Looks very poised in the pocket.
Maclin gains 17, now 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line as Cobb swings it out to the fullback Owen Schmidt. He's met immediately by linebacker Mike Peterson. A loss of 1 on the play as time winds down in this 1st quarter. Eagles with touchdowns on their first 2 drives, both scored by Deshaun Jackson. One on the ground, the other in the air. Kevin Cobb off to a good start with the Eagles leading 14-0. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. There'll be a few more people in that building later tonight.
You ain't kidding. And a lot of the people here watching this 1st quarter that the Eagles absolutely dominated are probably going to be heading over there.
They're going to walk right down that street right there and go right to the other game.
5 15-plus-yard plays in that first quarter alone.
We'll start the second quarter with the Eagles leading 14-0. Greg Selleck to the 32-yard line for a gain of 5.
We talked about Kevin Cobb and how poised he's been in the pocket today. Take a look at his numbers: 6 for 8, 86 yards and a touchdown. Now the knock on Kevin Cobb over the last couple of weeks was he was not getting the ball down the field. A lot of talk about the performance of Deshaun Jackson when Michael Vick is in the lineup as opposed to when Kevin Cobb is in the lineup. But he's been stretching the field vertically today. Some big pass plays down the field.
From the 32 on 3rd down and 6. Cobb in trouble, gets over. Oh, big hit on Deshaun Jackson. And there is a penalty marker.
Well, that's a defenseless player.
Dante Robinson down as well.
Man. I don't know how you take this out of the game of football. I don't know if there's anything you can do. They've implemented the rule. It's hard for the player. Thank goodness it looks like it's on the shoulder more than it was helmet to helmet.
23, defense. Hit to a defenseless receiver. 15-yard penalty. First down.
But we've got to find a way. We've got to find a way in this game to help eliminate that play right there, and I don't know how you do it. They've done it through rule. We've got to talk to the players about the importance and the respect between each other.
Today's game is sponsored by the new Ford Edge. The world has never seen a crossover quite like this. By Warner Brothers Pictures Hereafter. In theaters everywhere October 22nd. And by Pizza Hut. Your favorite plays deserve your favorite pizza. Your favorites, your Pizza Hut.
Back in Philadelphia, big collision moments ago between Eagles wide receiver Deshaun Jackson and Falcons cornerback Dante Robinson. Medical staffs from both teams tending to Jackson and Robinson. Another look at the hit.
And it's a defenseless player. The most important thing right now is it wasn't helmet to helmet, but you can see right there Deshaun Jackson exposed, vulnerable. Dante Robinson did not go to the head. He's up right now. But Tony, I don't know how we eliminate that play from this game, but we've got to find some way to get the message to the players, and it's so hard because, you know, it's a competitive
it's so
game.
Fast.
Yeah,
if things happen, people don't really understand. You know what? I'm just standing over here near both players, and they both ask each other if they're okay, and it looks like they're both going to walk off. I'll tell you what, you could have heard a pin drop in the stadium after that hit happened. All the players, you know, as a player, that's like the scariest moment ever. I'm so happy that both of these guys are up, man. And Darryl, just to, you know, talking about what you were saying, things happen so fast on this field. You're running at at full speed, and to go and adjust your body to get out of the way of another person or to put yourself in a certain situation where you're not going to get hurt is almost impossible. So I don't think either one of these players wanted to hurt each other, or, you know, I don't think any of that was going on, but you're just going so fast that it's hard to put your head or your body in a position where these collisions aren't going to happen.
and that's the thing, Tony. That's the word collisions, and I think a lot of times we look at football and we talk about it as a contact sport, but it's really a game of collisions. And you know, you can have very, very violent collisions like the one we just saw. These guys are so big. They're so fast today.
I'm just glad they're both okay.
Penalty was called on Robinson, so 1st and 10 from the Falcons 17-yard line, and McCoy gains 4 down to the 13. And Eagle fans remember the concussion suffered by Deshaun Jackson last season in a game against the Washington Redskins on a hit from London Fletcher. As you saw, both Jackson and Robinson have gone back to their respective locker rooms, and we will provide you with an update as soon as we hear. 2nd down and 6. Cobb handing it off to McCoy. Stays on his feet. Now he's tackled back at the 16-yard line by Philadelphia native Brent Grimes. Loss of 3 on the play.
Yeah, good play by William Moore because he beats Jason Avant inside on the block. And Jason Avant's got to know that in that position in the slot, I'm responsible for run contain. Actually, Brian Williams, number 29, that gets through there. But you've got to recognize you're out there in the slot. You've got to keep your eyes on that run support. If he starts to move, you've got to change your angle down inside to pick him up.
Eagles perfect inside the red zone this season. 3rd down and 10. Cobb looking left. Penalty markers down. As Cobb is taken down back at the 27.
Personal foul, grasping face mask, 65, offense, 15-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
King Dunlap, Eagles left tackle.
He's got such long arms. There he is to the left of our screen. Yeah, when the guy's going by you, you can't go and hook him. He grabbed the face mask like Corey Bierman. They're going to call that every time. Now that you see the umpire in the background over there too. As soon as he sees it, he throws a flag. You're going to get that all the time. You just can't do that. Once the guy beats you, you're just going to have to let him go.
The Atlanta Falcons looking to push that 15 yards back instead of the 4th down situation by declining, seeing if they can hold here defensively and force Philadelphia to punt.
3rd down and 25. Cobb steps up, dumps it off to McCoy. And McCoy takes it down just inside the 20. So now the Eagles will send out David Akers to attempt a field goal of approximately 37 yards.
Now there are wind gusts down this end of the field. You can see the flags at the top of the goalpost are going to the right down here and to the left down the other side. It's almost a whirlwind in the stadium. So this is going to go left to right. And we had such a big gust earlier that we actually lost one of the flags on the top.
From the right hash, South Rocket places it down. A 37-yard attempt by Akers.
There it is.
Right to the left, Tony.
Yeah, that wind is coming from right to left. You really can't, see it, but it's happening. A lot of gusts down here.
2 missed field goals on that end.
There's your 3 guys right there. Snapper, kicker, punter. In their own little worlds.
Nobody sitting near them following the missed field goal. David Akers, South Rocket, and the snapper John Dornbos. Falcons start from their own 27-yard line. Penalty marker in the defensive secondary as Ryan goes over the top to Michael Turner. Stuart Bradley made the tackle.
Illegal contact, 53, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
That's Moses Foku.
The linebacker group's doing a good job. There's a penalty on Moses Foku right there, but it was an area of concern, in my opinion, coming into this game. Tony Gonzalez he hasn't been a factor yet. And that's a credit to this Eagles defense, understanding where he is. I mean, not even thrown to.
No receptions for Gonzalez. No receptions for Roddy White. Came into the game as the 2nd leading receiver in the league. White split out to the left. Jenkins to the right. Douglas in the slot. From the 32-yard line on 1st down, Ryan just able to get rid of it before he was hit by Trent Cole.
We've been focusing a lot on Jonathan Abraham, but don't forget about Trent Cole. He is a guy that can turn a corner. He's got great leverage.
Relentless. That's the best word to describe him, Darryl. He just keeps coming and coming. He's got an unbelievable motor.
2nd and 10. Quick out to Jenkins. As we check in on the Steelers and the return of Ben Roethlisberger with Kurt Menefee.
Well, Roethlisberger was picked off on the 3rd pass of the season, but he hangs in there and makes up for it later on. Hooking up with Mike Wallace for a 29-yard score. Obviously, his first TD since his comeback from that suspension. 7-3 Steelers on top of the Browns. Penny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks very much, Kurt. Mike Patterson is down. Injury timeout, early 2nd quarter, 14-0 Eagles.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon Wireless, introducing the Droid X, the next generation of does.
Game 1 of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, and then baseball tonight. Just across the parking lot, Game 2 of the National League Championship Series on Fox. Joe Buck and Tim McCarver will have the call. Phillies and Giants. Eagles leading this game 14-0. Ryan on 3rd down, and again it is Trent Cole. Ryan down back at the 30.
Once again, Darryl, there's Trent Cole. I'll tell you what, Matt Ryan tried to step up into that pocket. Watch how fast that pocket collapses. Look at the big guys up front there, squeezing, squeezing. That's a great job.
He's got Tony Gonzalez into space, but as you pointed out, Tony, he doesn't have the time to find him.
Everybody can be wide open. If you ain't got the time to look downfield, it's worthless.
Eagles without Deshaun Jackson, so Jordan Calvin back deep once again. Michael Kanan punting for the 4th time from his own 20-yard line. Calvin moving to his right. Big return by Calvin across midfield. And he's finally wrestled out of bounds at the 35-yard line by Mike Peterson after a 42-yard return. The rookie out of Troy. Drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, Jordan Calvin.
And when we talk about returns, a lot of times we just focus on the returner, but this is a great job by the Philadelphia punt return team. All their guys getting some people, creating that alley. You saw that alley that they created down the sideline. Jordan Calvin doesn't have to do a whole lot but turn the corner and hit it north and south.
Longest punt return of the season for the Eagles. They start from the Atlanta 34. They had tremendous field position all day. The catch is made for a 1st down by Jeremy Maclin. Takes it down to the Falcons 22. 12 yards from Cobb to Maclin.
One of the areas of concern for the Philadelphia Eagles has been their special teams, but Jordan Calvin, that punt return team, kind of getting the Eagles some momentum back, Tony, because this game had kind of settled into a lull. They jumped out to that 14-0 lead, but then it just sat there for a couple of drives.
Yeah, you're right. Now they got a little momentum. They got to go capitalize on this.
From the 22-yard line. Cobb over the top to Jason Avant. Gains 8. Down to the 14, Stephen Nicholas. Made the tackle, 2nd down and 2. Eagles already with 10 1st downs. Lead 14-0. Only 17 yards on the ground for the Falcons. Coy on 2nd and 2. This drive started in Falcons territory following the big punt return. The Eagles' average drive start, Darryl, today, their own 47-yard line.
You're not going to have a good afternoon if you're allowing your opponent to start out in your midfield. And that's one of the things. It's been amazing to watch this Atlanta Falcon team today. Their first 5 weeks of play, very consistent, fundamentally sound. Just the little things, the attention to detail. They had the proper run contained. Their assignments were pretty good most of the time. Today has not been the case. Wide receivers running open down the field had trouble with contain on end arounds. They have been on their heels all afternoon. Give Philadelphia credit. Their play calling has been outstanding.
That's close, huh, Darryl? What is that, half an inch?
If that.
But it changes to an inch, no inches. Take the ES off that.
Third and an inch.
Less than an inch. Can we fit less than up there?
On the push, more than an inch.
I think he got inches on that play right there.
So the Eagles able to move the chains. New set of downs from the Falcons 11. Cobb rolling right. Sell it. Ball man to bring down. Forward progress to the 8-yard line. Gain of 3.
But much better from an assignment standpoint on that play. You know, they had to contain on the outside for the boot when it came out.
The one thing I'm noticing from down here that Atlanta is doing, the linebackers are deep, Darryl. It's hard for them to get involved in the pass rush. It's easier for coverage, but you're giving the tip to the offensive line that you're not coming when your linebackers are that deep.
Remember, Tony, they weren't worried about the running game here. The passing game is what scared the Falcons defense more.
On 2nd and 7, that pass is batted back. Jonathan Babineau. Got his hands up, hit him in the numbers.
They dropped Corey Peters on that. He was dropping back there like a linebacker.
So now 3rd down and 7. Eagles with a 14-0 lead. This field goal on their last drive. Now to the end zone. Diving catch for a touchdown. Jeremy Maclin.
Kevin Cobb fits this one into tight coverage. Let's see it at the end. There's the catch. Control right on the goal line. Slides out. Good call by the official. Work in the end zone right there.
Macklin's 5th touchdown this season. Second touchdown pass today for Kevin Cobb. The extra point, a 3-touchdown lead for the Philadelphia Eagles. Great start to the day for Eagles fans here in Philadelphia. Midway through the 2nd quarter, Eagles with a 21-0 lead on the Falcons. Big punt return by George Calvin. And then an 8-yard touchdown pass from Kevin Cobb to Jeremy Maclin. A little bit of wind, blowing the ball off the tee.
Well, this is 2 weeks in a row. I haven't seen this coming. I did not see Philadelphia 21, Atlanta 0 with 7:34 left to go in the first half. Last week we had Houston and the Giants. I didn't see 21-0 in the first half in that one either.
That's why they play the games.
Every day's a new day, huh, Darryl?
Oh, unbelievable.
It is. It's unbelievable.
Kickoff taken on the run by Eric Weems. Weems out to the 26-yard line. Well, Fox tomorrow. Don't miss an all-new episode of Lie to Me. Is Cal Lightman involved with a corrupt cop? As the evidence piles up against her, he'll risk his relationships, his career, and his life to find the truth. All new Lie to Me tomorrow at 9, 8 Central after House on Fox.
I think the most impressive one there, 6 rushes, only 14 yards for Michael Turner. This Eagles defense doing a great job of stopping really the heart and soul of this Falcons offense. It's a run-first mentality.
From the 26, Michael Turner. Out to the 30, gain of 4. We'll check in on the Giants and the Lions with Kurt.
Game was tied in the second quarter until Manning hooked up with Manningham. Eli DeMario, 33 yards on the score, and the Giants trying to take a lead in the halftime, up by 7 at the 2-minute warning. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks very much, Kurt. Eli Manning's numbers. Giants look to win their 3rd in a row. Second down and 6, Turner. Now to the 34-yard line. Gain of 4.
No time to panic right now for the Atlanta Falcons. Plenty of time. Stay with what you do offensively. You see right there the run pass selection. Dead even.
Coming into this game, Falcons second in the league on the ground at 149 yards per game. 3rd down and 2. Ryan moving to his left. Now throws over the top, complete. First catch today for Roddy White. And he has a 1st down and more across midfield into Eagles territory, out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Gain of 18.
A good hustle by Brian Finneran. Roddy White off the right side. Coming on the crossing route. Matt Ryan finds him. Watch 86 come into the screen from the right side. He's going to get a block right there to get Roddy White a few more yards down the sideline.
Matt Ryan moving a little bit in the pocket, too, to gain a little bit of extra time. They caught the Eagles in only a 3-man rush. That's why he had time to look downfield and find Roddy White.
1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 48. Ryan off his back foot. Out of bounds intended once again for White.
Tony, Philadelphia has done a great job today when they've decided to bring pressure. You just talked about the last snap with only a 3-man rush. But Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, is doing a great job with his pressure calls, kind of catching Atlanta off guard.
Must have been all those extra hours in the office this week. Shows up for work Monday morning, sleeps at the Eagles facility every night during the week, does not go home until Friday night.
Unbelievable.
And doesn't get overtime.
Ryan on 2nd and 10. High throw out of bounds. Intended for Jenkins.
He had a lot of time in that one, Bruce.
Yeah, and he missed
like
that
he
one.
rushed it, yeah.
Yeah.
You said it earlier, the Eagles are really keeping him off balance right now. With the pressure up in his face, he feels like he has to get rid of the ball earlier. Looks like Eagles had a hard time getting the play in.
First, team timeout. Philadelphia, 30-second timeout.
That's a smart timeout, though, Darryl. If you don't have what you need to go and get the play done, don't give anything to Atlanta right now. You're up by 3 scores, keep them down.
Goose, as you all know, game 2 tonight. Phillies and the Giants. Giants lead the series 1-0. Roy Oswalt, Jonathan Sanchez. The pitching matchup, coverage of game 2 beginning tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, after football in high definition, only on Fox.
That's a great stadium over there, huh, guys? We had the opportunity to go over there yesterday. Darryl, I know you like the chicken fingers, right?
No, I like the soft pretzels and whatever those chocolate-covered pretzels were.
It's a great stadium. Great looking from the inside. Wow. The field is nice, huh? How about the field? You never see a football field like that, manicured.
Ryan on 3rd and 10, complete for a 1st down to Roddy White. Of course, when Matt Ryan grew up here in Philadelphia, both the Phillies and the Eagles played at the old vet. Matt attended many games involving both teams, a big Philadelphia sports fan.
He rattled off his favorite players from all the different franchises here in Philadelphia. Legion of Doom with the Flyers.
Donovan McNabb and Deuce Staley were his favorite Eagles. Allen Iverson, Scott Rowland, former Philly. Ryan handing it off to Turner. Turner takes it down to the 32-yard line. Gain of 4. 3 sports star. And William Penn Charter High School. Captain of the football, basketball, and baseball teams. Starting varsity quarterback for 3 years. Lifelong Phillies fan. We were talking to him on the field earlier today about game 1 last night.
Be the next quarterback right there. Here come the Eagles.
Second down and 6. Falcons keep it on the ground, and Turner takes it down to the 26-yard line and looks to have another Falcons first down.
Nice job of that offensive line picking up the blitz. They all get on the body right here. Michael Turner does a nice job of reading his blocks and getting upfield to get this first down.
Well, Philadelphia likes to pressure up inside the A-gaps in between the guard and center area. And one of the big concerns, whether it was Jim Johnson, who was the former defensive coordinator for the Eagles, that Sean McDermott learned from his mentor. When you've got a big running back and a strong running game, they'll get less pressure. You saw right there. If you can get on the edge with the run, you can beat it.
From the 26-yard line on first down, a pump fake. Now Ryan throws it out of bounds in the vicinity of Gonzalez, who is still without a catch. Tenth play of the drive coming up for the Falcons, who trail 21-0. Falcons lost their first game of the season in overtime in Pittsburgh. They've won their last 4.
They're not going to want to come to Pennsylvania anymore.
No. Second and 10, swings it out to Turner. Forced out of bounds by Foku after a gain of 3.
Atlanta, not an easy schedule, Dow. 4 road games of the first 6. That's tough. That is not easy to go on a road early in the season, but you know, when you're going back home next week, you got to know that half of your games are already done, road games, so you'll be home a lot.
Tips of Gonzalez and then picked off. Asante Samuel with his second interception of the season, the 37th of his career.
They have really committed to take Tony Gonzalez away. You frustrate somebody, you get your opportunity, and then you deflect it. And a great job by Asante Samuel, who's actually covering the receiver behind Tony Gonzalez. Here comes pressure out underneath. Now watch the deflection. Asante Samuel had already turned and dropped his guy to come make a play on the ball. He's got Roddy White on the outside, passes him. That's a great job. By being in the right technique, by being able to have your eyes back onto the quarterback, instead of turning your back to the quarterback, you can see that play develop, jump that route, and be in a position for the interception.
So an 11-play drive, Falcons come away with nothing. Cobb handing it off to McCoy, across the 20 to the 21. For a gain of 3. First turnover of the game. Asante Samuel, more interceptions than any other NFL player over the last 4 seasons. So the Eagles back to work on offense, leading 21-0. Cobb 11 of 14, 2 touchdowns. Eagles without Deshaun Jackson for the remainder of this game, involved in a collision with Dante Robinson. Both suffering head injuries. Jeremy Maclin, the go-to guy in the absence of Deshaun Jackson. He gains 9 and an Eagles first down.
Now, you talked about it earlier. Real soft coverage out there right now by Atlanta's secondary.
I think you get yourself so worried about somebody running past you, and now all of a sudden it's going to be very easy for Philadelphia to throw some things underneath, but you know, you don't want to lose your patience. All of a sudden you start to jump something or change that coverage, and now Jeremy Maclin's running by you instead of stopping in front of you.
2-minute warning in Philadelphia. Back in Philadelphia, support the NFL's A Crucial Catch breast cancer awareness campaign by bidding on authentic game day NFL pink products and experiences at NFL.com/auction. Proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society. Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie and his family, big supporters. They've raised over $1 million for breast cancer care and research.
And actually, the first franchise that did the breast cancer awareness campaign back in 2004 was the Philadelphia Eagles that started the campaign. The NFL picked it up last year league-wide. Here's Jeffrey Lurie.
Eagles selling tackling breast cancer merchandise. Falcons call timeout with 1:50 remaining in the first half. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. We'll dissect the NFC South. Saints and Buccaneers in action today. Take you through all the scores and highlights. Coming up on the Visa halftime report. Eagles lead 21-0. Looking to capitalize following the Falcons turnover, the interception by Asante Samuel. Inside handoff, McCoy cuts to the outside, and then a nice tackle is made by Brent Grimes, holding McCoy to just 4. Another timeout with 1:47 remaining.
You mentioned that Deshaun Jackson was out of the lineup on that last drive, Kenny. We'll take a look back here earlier in the game. Just a very violent collision between Dante Robinson and Deshaun Jackson. Both players helped off the field. Deshaun Jackson's return, he is not coming back. Dante Robinson questionable, but Deshaun Jackson is done for this afternoon. Just hope that both of those guys are okay later today.
But I was happy to see them come off the field on their own. Not on their own, with a little bit of help, and not have to get that wagon out here. That's not good.
Both players suffering head injuries during that collision. 3rd down and 3 for the Eagles following the Falcons' second timeout. Cobb to McCoy. McCoy picks up a first down across the 45 to the 46-yard line. So the Eagles move the chains. Philadelphia with 2 timeouts remaining.
And now Philadelphia will jump into the hurry-up mode. Atlanta trying to get one more possession there. But again, that's another example of a play that kind of takes the place of the Philadelphia running game. It's a quick screen right out on the perimeter to LaShawn McCoy, enough yards for the first down.
Another screen to McCoy, but this time loses yardage. Jonathan Babineau the tackle. Loss of 3.
Well, Philadelphia just exploded the first quarter of this game. A 2-play drive to start with Deshaun Jackson on the end around, getting a long touchdown run, and then just running free in the secondary on the next drive. It's a quick 14-0 lead by the Philadelphia Eagles. Then earlier here in the second quarter, they get their 3rd touchdown to Jeremy Maclin. Nice tight fit by Kevin Cobb on that throw. But have just been impressed with the Eagles play and just confused by the Falcons today. I mean, just very, very uncharacteristic. Mike Smith going to get in halftime, and what in the world were we doing in the first half?
Eagles now with 1 timeout remaining. Falcons have 1 as well. 2nd down and 13. Just over 1 minute remaining, second quarter. Cobb with loads of time. Wide open, Jason Avant for an Eagles first down at the Falcons 37. A 21-yard pass play.
Just a great job by Kevin Cobb directing the protection on this play. Here's where your blitzer is going to come from. He directs everything there. They get it picked up. Now he's got plenty of time. It's not a situation where the route has to be broken off hot, so Jason Avant can get down the field. Philadelphia is just 1 step ahead of Atlanta this entire first half. Brian Van Gorder just can't get ahead of Marty Morningway.
Pass intended for Selleck, deflected Picked off. Selleck took a hard hit. William Moore on the return as Selleck finally starts to get up onto his feet, and now there are 3 flags out near midfield. And some more extracurricular activity.
There's 87, Brent Selleck on the release. Tip pass, ball goes in the air. They should have a flag on that one. Thomas Daku's lucky, he got away with that one. William Moore on the interception, and that quickly, Tony, this game can turn. We just talked about how Philadelphia seems to be one play ahead of Brian Van Gorder in this Atlanta defense, and they get the big turnover.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, horse collar tackle. A 15-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the play. First down.
Wow. It was on Kevin Cobb. He made the tackle, I think, right?
Well, I mean, Atlanta got away with one. Brent Selleck in the middle of the field. You know, now from that angle, it looks like the ball was close, but it wasn't, and he had plenty of time to pull off on that hit. And then here's Kevin Cobb.
I don't know. I don't think they should call it on the quarterback.
Well, he didn't. You know, he didn't drag him straight down. You know that horse collar. You get your hand inside the shoulder pad, and it's that straight back one where the legs get caught up underneath. That one was off to the side.
3rd interception of the season for Moore. Falcons lead the league in picks. Now with 11. 1 timeout remaining for Atlanta. From the Eagles 31, Ryan to Harry Douglas. What a catch by Douglas inside the 15 at the 13-yard line. Gain of 18.
What a change in the last 15 seconds.
Ryan on first down. Douglas once again. The clock continues to run. Douglas down just inside the 9.
Third, final team timeout.
Falcons call their final timeout.
Contact
Almost lost the ball right there.
Well, you talk about the change of momentum following the Eagles interception. They're on the move, looking to add to their 21-point lead, and then Philadelphia gives it right back.
Well, they have that big conversion earlier in that drive where Atlanta was trying to save some time on the clock, and Philadelphia converts on the 3rd down. Now they're going down the field, and now, oh my gosh, could they go in 28, 24-0 by halftime? And a big interception by William Moore. Now it's back, and we talked about how important it would have been for Atlanta on their drive when they had the turnover with the interception by Asante Samuel to get some points in this situation, and you thought they had lost it, but this game just completely spun around in the last 15 seconds with Atlanta poised to possibly get a touchdown here and cut it to 21-7 by halftime.
2nd down and 6 from the 9. Ryan to the end zone. Now there are 2 penalty flags. Pass was intended for Douglas.
Pass interference, 21, defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. Will place the ball at the 1-yard line. First down.
Ocelio Hansen.
The one thing that Mike Smith told us he was very, very proud of his team was their resiliency. What a great example has been this afternoon, falling behind 21-0 with Philadelphia marching, looking to score some more points before halftime, and they get the big turnover. And now they're in a position to get it to 21-7. You talk about that New Orleans game where Garrett Hartley missed the kick, and they take advantage of that second chance and win that game. When Nate Clemens didn't get the ball down, they fumble it, they get the ball back, they go down and score and beat San Francisco. So you better watch these Falcons. They're not going to give up. They've proven it in the past this season already.
1st and goal from the 1. Ryan moving to his right, throws high. Intended for Gonzalez. Remember, the Falcons with no timeout, so look to throw on 1st down.
Well, by using that 3rd and final timeout to stop the clock on Harry Douglas's play on the last one, you're really going to have to throw. I mean, if not, they might have been able to take a shot running the football with Michael Turner. That'd be a gutsy call right now.
Yeah, it would. Winds down real fast.
Falcons empty the backfield. 2nd and goal from the 1. Ryan to Gonzalez. Touchdown.
Well, now remember earlier in the game, remember when Ellis Hobbs had the collision with Asante Samuel? I mean, he comes up. You choose to play that way.
He loves it when the defender is right next to him.
Absolutely.
You know, he manhandles him. You see how he just threw him right out of the way?
That's his basketball background right there.
Absolutely.
You know, you get a little bit off at Tony Gonzalez and challenge him that way, especially when you're giving up the size advantage.
The Eagles really messed up. They had a chance to go and have the knockout punch down here to bring it in. They go, they get the tip, and it goes the other way. Now you're going into halftime, only down 2 scores. Brought Atlanta right back into this game.
And remember the horse collar, that added 15 yards at the end of this play.
Well, Curtis Lofton gets the big deflection. William Moore with the interception. And as you pointed out, Kenny, there's going to be a horse collar. There's going to be 15 more yards added onto this. Then a big play to Harry Douglas gives him down and tied, a pass interference in the end zone. And this is too easy.
Yeah, when you get one-on-one Tony Gonzalez out there, you know where the ball's going. Tough for Ellis Hobbs to don't stay with him.
There's William Moore. Now has 3 picks on the season. Tony Gonzalez, his first catch today. He's a halftime report coming up with Kurt Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. We'll talk about the NFC South showdown between the Saints and the Bucs. Are the Giants still rolling, coming off back-to-back wins? Giants hosting the Lions today. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. You know, we talked to Ryan Howard about his favorite team, the greatest show on turf. Rams back in the late 90s. With that reception, Tony Gonzalez now tied with Isaac Bruce for 6th all-time. 1,024 career receptions. Kickoff chase by Calvin all the way back at the 5-yard line.
That kick took some serious bounces in the air. Didn't have an opportunity to play it. He's going to be happy that he got down.
Ellis Hobbs, the usual kick return man, shaken up earlier, returned to the game, but we have not seen him on returns. So Calvin, who had that big punt return earlier, getting an opportunity. What a sports complex.
It really is. I mean, everything is right here.
3 games yesterday. Temple play Bowling Green here. Flyers lost to the Penguins. And then game 1 of the NLCS at night. This is game 1 of 2 today. And the Eagles have a 14-point lead over the Falcons at the half. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime report coming up after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Back in Philadelphia, we get set for the start of the second half. Eagles leading the Falcons 21-7. As we welcome you back, Kenny Albert along with Darrell Johnston. Eagles led by 21 were driving. Then a turnover, and the Falcons hope the momentum carries over into this 3rd quarter.
Huge play by Curtis Lofton getting that deflection. William Moore gets the interception as Philadelphia is moving down the field for possibly a 28-0, maybe a 24-0 lead going in at halftime. It completely changes the complexion of that game. Now, Mike Smith talked about the thing that he's been most proud about his team so far this season, getting out to that 4-1 start, is resiliency. And we're going to get another example of it here in the second half. This is a group that will hang in there and fight you to the end. Philadelphia cannot make mistakes like they did in that 2-minute situation at the end of the first half.
Eagles will get the ball first. Short kickoff. This is Owen Schmidt, the fullback. Schmidt takes it out across the 35-yard line.
Guys did have a chance to talk to Mike Smith going in. That's one thing he said. He said, we're back in this game. That score was huge for us. One thing we got to do on defense is we were concentrating too much on the pass. We have to bring more pressure up front and try to disrupt Cobb a little bit. So look for that here in the second half.
Dimitri Patterson goes the injured Eagle. Falcons actually had the edge in time of possession, but they trail by 2 touchdowns. Kevin Cobb, 16 of 20. 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception in the first half. Cobb to the outside, and the catch is made by Chad Hall, an Atlanta native, and he's tackled by Philadelphia native Brent Grimes.
Well, Kevin Cobb looked very poised that entire first half till that last drive. You know, maybe trying to force a little bit too much. He had Brent Selleck going down the middle of the field. Didn't get enough loft on the ball. Curtis Lofton's able to get that deflection. See how he bounces back here in the second half.
Second down and 5. LaShawn McCoy wrapped up in the backfield by Troy Bierman, one of the Falcons' heroes last week, scored an incredible touchdown against Cleveland.
And he is one of the guys that Mike Smith actually said has helped Jonathan Abraham out this year. His emergence on the outside as a pass rusher. Now everybody can't take their protections and turn them and slide them to Jonathan Abraham, because that will put you in some one-on-one situations on the backside with Corey Bierman. And he's been winning a lot of those battles this year.
Remember, the Eagles without Deshaun Jackson, injured in the collision in the first half with Dante Robinson, suffered a head injury. Cobb on 3rd and 8, and a diving play is made on the ball by Brent Grimes, forcing the Eagles to send out the punting unit.
Atlanta bringing 5 on that play, trying to put a little pressure like Mike Smith talked about going into half. Kevin Cobb goes and gets his ball out. Great break. And Brent Grimes on that ball.
You see that, Tony? They had 3 defenders, and they all kind of drew a line in the sand right at the sticks. Like they knew that Philadelphia wasn't going to stretch them vertically there. All 3 defenders right at the marker for the first down, and that's what allowed Brent Grimes to jump that pass.
First time the Eagles have gone 3 and out today. Side Rocca punting to Eric Weems. Weems from the 9. 18-yard return out to the 27. So Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense trailing by only 2 scores.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. And by Burger King. Have it your way.
Early 3rd quarter here in Philadelphia. Falcons start from their own 27-yard line, trailing by 2 touchdowns. They scored a late touchdown in the second quarter following an Eagles turnover. On first down, Ryan handing it off to Michael Turner. Turner heading west to east, gains 2 with a 29 before he was brought down by Moses Foku.
And that may be as impressive as anything that this Eagles defense has done during the course of this game, is really kind of clamp down this Atlanta running game. And it was an issue a couple weeks ago against the Washington Redskins. They bounced back last week against Frank Gore in San Francisco, and have continued it again here today with Michael Turner in Atlanta.
They're doing it with numbers now, guys on the line of scrimmage.
37 yards on the ground for the Falcons today. Ryan to the air on second down, and that pass incomplete, intended for Roddy White, who caught only 2 balls in the first half.
This has to be an area where Atlanta has been frustrated today. Talking to Philadelphia, they were impressed with Atlanta's 3rd down offense. They really challenge you with what they do. Never really giving you the same looks twice, changing protections. But Philadelphia's been 1 step ahead of them.
Falcons 3rd in the league on 3rd down.
Gonzalez on Bradley down below.
Ryan goes the other way. And picking up a first down is Michael Jenkins out at the 40-yard line. Jenkins gains 11.
You really have to give Stuart Bradley credit. He's been under fire this season about his pass coverage. Done a nice job when he's been in that situation against Tony Gonzalez. It's a good thing they got Michael Jenkins back today. He's been the key in the passing game.
Jenkins injured 9 days into camp. Playing for the first time this season. From the 40, off the play fake. Ryan fires downfield, and the catch is made at the Eagles' 40-yard line. It's Jenkins again, a 20-yard pass play.
One of those strange looks that this offense will do. Watch everything that the defense has to watch. What that creates is hesitation and uncertainty. You saw Stuart Bradley up, and look where the ball goes, right over his head.
Sort of almost like the wishbone in the backfield with 3 backs in the backfield and everybody going in a different direction. You're right, Moose. As a defense, you got to go and pay attention to all of those guys and make sure it's not run first and then react to the pass. That's what gave Matt Ryan a lot of time to look downfield.
Turner inside the 35, down to the 30-yard line. Stopped just shy of another Falcons first down. Joselio Hansen made the tackle, a gain of 9 for Michael Turner.
You can't script it any better right now, Goose. I mean, your defense comes out, forces a 3 and out. Eric Williams gives you a pretty good punt return from the 9-yard line where he fielded it, and now your offense has got some momentum moving down the field. All 3 phases starting this half exactly how Mike Smith would have wanted him to.
High backs right here. Eagles got to be thinking run.
There's a run, Goose. That's Turner up the middle. Falcons move the chains as Michael Turner gains 3. There's Michael Jenkins, 4 receptions, 78 yards today. And his return to the Falcons lineup. Gonzalez split out to the left. Lions pass is broken up, intended for Jenkins. Asante Samuel, who had an interception earlier.
I know it's one-on-one on the outside, but Asante Samuel is one of the more aggressive corners in the league. Look at him undercut that route.
And he wanted a flag thrown on Jenkins, who grabbed hold of Samuel.
I think that was warranted. I tell you, Jenkins has a hand on him. Watch right here, just takes him off it. The officials you saw right there was behind him, so he didn't see it.
Now 2nd and 10. Jason Snelling. Snelling down to the 19-yard line. Gain of 8. 5 minutes in, 3rd quarter with the Falcons on the move. They scored on the last possession of the first half, following an Eagles turnover. Atlanta now facing a 3rd down and 2. Three receivers to the left. Ryan on 3rd down. Intended for Roddy White. Broken up by Joselio Hansen.
Roddy White out here, just running the slant play. He's a big physical receiver. That's a heck of a job by Joselio Hansen. Holds his ground, doesn't get shoved. Atlanta going for it here on 4th down. Good decision.
I like it.
Fourth down and 2. And Ryan's pass is caught by White for a 1st down. So a gutsy call by Mike Smith on 4th and 2. And the Falcons get a new set of downs.
Again, making Philadelphia think. They put a bunch formation out to the right, 4th and 2. So that's where you're going to look. Look at everything over there to that side. You got Gonzalez over there and everything. Now you just got Roddy White on the backside. Look at the soft coverage back to the left. Great job by Matt Ryan recognizing where the soft coverage was going to be. Good call, Mike Smith.
Wow, that was Hobbs. That was soft coverage. Huh?
1st and goal from the 9-yard line. Turner, nothing.
That was ugly.
Loss of 3. Again, Trent Cole along with Antonio Dixon.
Something didn't look right there, Goose.
Yeah, it looked like the left guard, Justin Blaylock pulls, but he gets stopped, and the run goes to the left. It looked like the run was supposed to go to the right. Well, the offensive line and the backfield were not on the same page in that play.
Now 2nd and goal, back at the 13-yard line. throws. It's caught by the fullback, Mahaley. But Samuel, along with Ernie Sims, right there to make the tackle, gain of just 2. So now a 3rd and goal from the 11 for the Falcons.
All right, Tony, you went for it on 4th and 2 outside. I mean, do you play it as 4-down territory here? Have you decided that this is important that we get 7 here?
Absolutely. 3 does not help you, in my opinion. You're still going to need 2 scores. You got to play for 2 right here.
13th play of the drive. Ryan on 3rd and goal. Another short pass. It's Snelling. And he's forced out at the 8. And now it looks like Mike Smith will send out the field goal unit. Needed 2 yards on 4th down. Now he would need 8.
Well, he missed Tony Gonzalez on this one.
Wow.
You've got Roddy White outside. Watch this. Watch him. He's right now. Right there. The second window. Nate Allen is not going to be able to make that play.
Middle of the field is wide open.
This will be a 26-yard attempt. There have been 2 missed field goals on this end. Bryant hit the left upright from 41. Hayden places it down. And Bryant's kick is straight through. So the Falcons get 3 on their first drive of the second half, and now trail the Eagles by 11. Back in Philadelphia, today's aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. Great sports day on Fox. Eagles leading the Falcons 21-10. Cowboys and Vikings coming up from Minnesota. Then the OT, a recap of all the NFL action today with our guys in Los Angeles. And then back to Philadelphia. Game 2 of the National League Championship Series between the Phillies and the Giants. Falcons drove 14 plays, converted on 4th down, but then settled for a field goal. They trailed 21-0 at one point. Once again, ball blows off the tee, so Kanan will have some help for Brent Grimes.
You've heard Tony talk about them. Look at the officials' uniform.
Yeah, it's starting to blow a lot more down here on the field.
Won't be any wind inside the Metrodome later.
It'll be loud, though. It's one of the loudest places I ever had to play in. Got a headache on the plane ride home.
Kanan boots this one. With help from the wind, the Eagles will start from the 20.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint, the Now Network.
Not sure if you heard, Darryl, there's a game tonight.
Next door?
Across the way. Game 2. Phillies, Giants. How'd you enjoy the action last night?
I had a great time. Beautiful ballpark. Didn't like the outcome, but we got another shot tonight. My wife's from Philadelphia, so we are a Phillies household.
Sean McCoy, and he is tackled for a loss. William Moore, who had the pick earlier, which led to the Falcons touchdown.
It'll be interesting to see what Philadelphia does, because when they broke out in that first quarter, it was a lot of the play calling by Marty Morningweg and Andy Reid. There were end arounds, there were play action, deep shots down the field. Now you got to kind of settle into your running game, your screen game that you normally have. You wonder if they've got any more tricks up their sleeves here in the second half.
They fake the end around, and now Cobb goes deep from Macklin. He's got it. Jeremy Macklin.
Wow.
Touchdown, 83 yards.
You wanted trickery, Darryl. They just gave you some trickery.
You remember when we were at practice Friday, they started that one session, and there was like 6 plays in a row. that were like shots down the field. I remember that one right there.
It was like the first 6 plays, too.
Oh, everything was going deep down the field. Look at everything that Atlanta has to process here. Oh, it's a screen out to the left. No, it's not. It's Jeremy Maclin down the sideline.
And they had the reverse also. These are all the plays that they saw earlier that they got burned on. Now here's another one to add.
Longest pass of Cobb's career, longest career reception for Maclin. 28-10 Philadelphia. Second touchdown of the game for Maclin.
All right, take a look at this. Watch the sell job by Jeremy Maclin. He's on the screen to the right. Look at all the action on your left box that the defense has to process. Fake handoff, reverse. Jeremy Maclin completely sells the defense. Just kind of trots off the line and then takes off. The little things. That was such great attention to detail in executing that play, and you design it all week long, you practice it, and you got to tell everybody, listen, when this comes up, everybody do your job. Maybe the most important job on that play was the release off the line of scrimmage by Jeremy Maclin. Coming off nice and slow, forcing everybody to take your focus off of him and to look in the backfield, and then just take off with the burst.
I'll tell you what, the discipline that Atlanta had before coming into this game is the reason why they're in a situation right now, is lack of discipline. You got to go and play the guy that you have, the person. If you're responsible for the reverse, if Maclin's your guy, you got to stay with him, and that's exactly what Atlanta is not doing.
They're doing somebody else's job today, Tony, and we haven't really seen that on film. You can see, and you wonder, you get behind and you start to press a little bit, and then instead of taking care of your job, which is guarding Jeremy Maclin, all of a sudden you sneak a peek in the backfield, you see reverse coming your way or screen, you drop him.
And you know what, when Mike Smith was with us, that's all he said. Just do your job. Don't worry about anybody else's. And I know that's what he said to him at halftime also, but obviously it didn't sink in on these guys.
Mike Smith with Goose in Baltimore on Brian Billick's staff. Dimitri Patterson will hold it for David Akers. Eric Weems. Weems tackled at the 22-yard line. Career high third touchdown pass of the day, Kevin Cobb. Kevin Cobb all smiles, his third start of the season. 3 touchdown passes, Eagles lead by 18.
And so much for Kevin Cobb not stretching the field.
Falcons start from their own 22-yard line. Hands it off to Turner. Towards the corner, out of bounds as he crosses the 25-yard line.
Just a contrast in styles here this afternoon offensively. The Atlanta Falcons methodical with their game plan. They're staying with it. It's a run-first mentality, play action. They'll take some shots down the field. And this Eagles offense showing how explosive it can be.
Just killing Atlanta with the gadget plays. Reverse. Fake reverse, I don't even know what you call that next one, Darryl. Fakes handoff, fake reverse, downfield score.
Sounds good.
Quick strikes, quick scoring drives for the Eagles. Ryan to Gonzalez on second down. Only his second catch and a late hit by Coleman. Kurt Coleman with the hit on Gonzalez out of bounds.
Tony Gonzalez breaks the tackle there.
After play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, 15 yards from the end of the play, first down.
If you hold your hands up, you're usually going to get in trouble.
Yeah,
you've done something.
Veteran Tony Gonzalez selling it too.
He's a little bit more athletic than that.
So Coleman is flagged, the rookie out of Ohio State, 7th round pick. From the 45-yard line. Ryan's pass is broken up. Quentin Michael got his hand in front of Gonzalez.
There's been a couple matchups we've talked about today, and Philadelphia is winning the majority of them. You know, how are they going to defend Tony Gonzalez? This time it's Quentin Michael. Maybe gets away with a little bit of contact there. Good position, knocks that ball down. Offensively, King Dunlap has been good with his protection.
Second and 10, Snelling in the backfield. Ryan backpedaling, now throws. The catch is made by Roddy White. Hands in the tackle as we check in on the Lions and Giants with Kurt.
Well, Drew Stanton in at quarterback for the Lions because Sean Hill broke his arm and is out of the game. Of course, he was playing for Matthew Stafford. But when you got Calvin Johnson, hey, anybody can play quarterback, right? 87 yards on the score. The Giants still hold on to the lead, but the Lions just keep on fighting. 21-17 in the fourth quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. So Detroit now down to their third string quarterback. Drew Stanton, third down and 7. Ryan looking for Snelling. Stuart Bradley on the coverage.
That's not a bad matchup right there either. Jason Snelling versus Stuart Bradley. Stuart Bradley makes the play. I mean, everybody has kind of risen to the occasion today for Philadelphia. Stuart Bradley has been criticized about his coverage the last couple of weeks. That hasn't been the case today.
From his own 38-yard line. End over end. There's a penalty marker and a fair catch at the 11-yard line by Jorah Calvin.
During the kick, holding, 23, return team, half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's Dimitri Patterson. 8th Eagles penalty. Their special teams coach, Bobby April.
You got to do that late. Sometimes the eye comes off the gunner on the outside, but not early on. They're going to have their eye on.
Now we'll have our eye on the Cowboys and the Vikings coming up. Tony Romo against Brett Favre. Game 2 for Randy Moss since the trade from New England to Minnesota. Game 2 of our Fox doubleheader coming up.
There you go. That shows you how explosive this Eagles offense can be. 2 of their 4 scoring drives, just 2 plays.
McCoy looks to cut it back. And he's tackled for a loss by Stephen Nicholas.
Gutty performance by LaShawn McCoy last week in San Francisco with that cracked rib. A little bit tougher sledding today. 12 carries, just 26 yards.
Came into this game 5th in the league in yards from scrimmage. Second down and 13. Eagles pinned deep in their own territory. Here's Cobb throwing from the end zone, and the catch is made. Taken out to the 23-yard line by Jason Avant for an Eagles first down, a gain of 20.
Hey, Connie, you got to help me out with this one. I don't understand. Watch Jonathan Abraham. He's going to drop back in his own blitz scheme, and they're going to bring Corey Peters to the outside for King Dunlap. So if you're talking about a matchup,
yeah, I know.
At least make him do it the whole game.
They're not taking advantage of it at all. They're giving him a break on that one. I didn't like also how the middle of the field was wide open. If you look at the pass rush, everybody rushed to the B gaps or outside, and the middle of the field was wide open for Cobb to look downfield. Make it any more easier for him?
Now it's McCoy, and Cobb has made it look easy today. And let's talk about this Eagles quarterback situation. The guys touched on it on the pregame show again at halftime. Cobb named the starter following the trade of McNabb. Here's Kevin's dad, Roy, in from Texas. And then Kevin suffers the concussion against Green Bay week 1. Vic has a great game week 2, and Andy Reid says he's my starter for the remainder of this season.
Well, I think it doesn't really matter. Andy Reid cannot flip-flop again back. If Kevin plays again next week the way he's played today, you look at him, 19 of 24, 277, long shots down the field. His big play opportunities, he's been perfect. It's not easy to hit Jeremy Maclin in stride for an 83-yard touchdown pass. Now, what Andy Reid has said is, and we saw this, Tony, because we had Philadelphia in the preseason against Cincinnati, and Michael Vick did not look good at all in that game. And then when he came in against Green Bay, he looked really good. And then against Detroit, I mean, Detroit should have sacked him 13 times, and he made play after play after play. So I think all of a sudden Andy Reid saw that, and he's like, you know what? It's different. It's a different scenario. And there he is today. That was the knock on Kevin Cobb coming in. You know, especially in that Washington game. He was checking the ball down. Well, Washington played very differently defensively than Atlanta has today. Atlanta's given the opportunity for him to stretch the field, and he's been perfect.
Another perfect pass on 3rd and 5. Cobb hitting Brent Selleck, who signals first down after a gain of 14.
You know, if you're Andy, it's a pretty nice problem to have, Darryl, when you have two quarterbacks, you know, out there that can do different things, but both get the job done. And like you said, Kevin Cobb today just playing lights out. And if he comes back next week and has the same kind of game, I don't know what Andy's going to do. I know it's tough to flip-flop back and forth, but you got to keep with who's hot right now.
Here's McCoy to midfield.
I don't think you do, Tony. I don't think you go with who's hot. William Moore just completely lost his composure. Cost him 15 yards.
Well, that's exactly what Andy did with Michael Vick. You know, Mike was, went in there, and all of a sudden he got hot and stayed with him.
Personal foul, 25. Defense, unnecessary roughness. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
Losing their composure.
Now, this is it's just a good block by Jason Avant. You know, he's hustling downfield. That's a good block.
That's not a flag.
You can't stand over and taunt a player, Tony.
Well, he comes at my knees, we're going to have a problem.
Well, you're going to get flagged.
I would have made sure that I did something so I deserved the 15 yards, not that little push like that.
Yeah, he went through his thigh.
No, that was a knee.
Come on. It's a wide receiver against a safety.
I don't go for that.
Moore replaced by Eric Coleman. Off the play fake. Cobb gets rid of it. He was under pressure from Jamal Anderson.
And we talked about the wind situation down here. You can hear it when I talk. I mean, my pants are almost blowing off me right now. The wind is completely different.
Tony, God forbid.
I'm holding on, Moose.
Please,
don't worry. I don't want to shock anybody.
Cinch up the belt, please.
But the wind is definitely a factor down here on the field. It's almost like going in a circle, and it could be affecting some of these throws. I mean, not so far, but defense is obviously seeing the wind conditions also.
Go get you a belt goose.
I got one.
From the 35, here's McCoy. Just one. Time winding down in quarter number 3. Falcons with an early field goal. And then Kevin Cobb hitting Jeremy Maclin. 83-yard touchdown. Cobb's 3rd touchdown pass of the day. He's thrown for 292 yards over the first 3 quarters. Eagles will take an 18-point lead into the 4th. So after 3 here in Philadelphia, it's the Eagles 28, the Falcons 10. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Eagles fans enjoying this one as Philadelphia looks to win their 2nd straight, 4th in the last 5. They'll head to Nashville, take on the Titans next week before their bye. Falcons will play their next 3 at home. 3rd down and 9. Eagles keep it on the ground with McCoy. Loses the football, but it rolls out of bounds. It was down.
Great vision by McCoy on the cutback. Watch him right here. He's supposed to go left. He goes, he stops.
Wow.
Keeps, I mean, a little Barry Sanders-ish. I don't know.
Oh, that's I don't know.
See that one that cut right there? I sort of had flashbacks because that was the guy diving out of it and he grabbed nothing but air. Barry Sanders. Oh, say that name, like the chills go down my spine. That'll be embarrassing.
make this a 47-yard attempt from the right hash. The kick by Akers is wide to the left once again. He was wide left from 37 back in the second quarter, and now wide left from 47 yards out.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new Volkswagen Jetta. It's great for the price of good. That's Das Auto. By Old Spice, the greatest smell in the NFL. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
A lone sailboat, Darryl.
Yeah, and a lone kicker now. David Akers is a little bit frustrated. And Tony's been talking about the wind. He had to get that one started. You got to start it down the right side. That one was left of the uprights the whole time and just stayed out there.
So Akers 0 for 2 today. Now Ryan firing downfield. And the pass is short, intended for Roddy White.
Brandon Graham is down for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles first round pick out of Michigan.
Ouch.
Eagles medical staff tending to injured rookie Brandon Graham. 2nd and 10 for the Falcons from their own 37. Ryan's pass nearly picked off. Roddy White, the intended receiver, Ellis Hobbs, broke it up.
Almost blocked by somebody's feet.
Well, that was a great blitz pickup. Ernie Sims tries to go high. Michael Turner just flips him.
Wow. Look at this. They almost blocked the pass, though.
You ever seen that, Goose?
Never. That's the first.
3rd down and 10. This pass deflected by a hand. Trevor Laws.
Eagles doing a great job of mixing it up on who's coming, who's dropping. Saw a couple defensive linemen drop one time. Everyone getting their hands up. They're not making it easy for Matt Ryan to get the ball downfield.
Kanan back at his own 23-yard line. Jordan Calvin back deep for the Eagles. Early 4th quarter, Eagles lead by 18. End over end. Bounces out of bounds. At the 30. Big day for Eagles quarterback Kevin Cobb.
He really has had a great afternoon, and he's been excellent on their big play opportunities. You draw these up during the course of the week. And when he's had an opportunity to hit him, he has. Here's a great one to Jeremy Maclin. Great design, a little bit of trickery involved, but he hits him in stride for an 83-yard touchdown pass.
Cobb's numbers, we've been talking about Michael Vick, who has started 3 games for the Eagles this season. They've won 2 out of the 3. Injured in the game against Washington 2 weeks ago. Listed as the 3rd quarterback today. He spent the day in the Eagles locker room. There's Kevin's dad once again, enjoying the action here in Philadelphia. Cobb off his back foot, complete out of the 32-yard line to Sean McCoy. Stephen Nicholas made the tackle. In case you're wondering, the Eagles backup is Mike Kafka, rookie 4th round draft pick out of Northwestern. Led the Big Ten in passing yards last season. Second down and 7. McCoy out to the 38.
Eagles doing a great job, Darryl, of mixing it up. Run, pass, trickery. I mean, they just got this Atlanta Falcons defense on their heels all game.
Yeah, and you know what it does, Tony? It makes you hesitate. The way you get separation in the NFL is not always by speed, but having that player have to think for a second. And the Eagles have been able to do that on so many different occasions today. You know, the one really interesting thing that I learned this week is Philadelphia leads the NFL in yards per carry. You know, you don't think of them as that type of team, but then when you watch how they do their running game with plays like that, with the reverses and the end arounds we saw earlier in this game, it's just so many things you have to defend. It's not a power running game. You know, it's not somebody that's going to run, you know, different kind of G schemes and pulling linemen. You know, it's getting a guy like LaShawn McCoy on the edge and putting a linebacker like Stephen Nicholas in the situation where he's got to make an open field tackle. And, you know, Andy Reid will take that matchup all day long with LaShawn McCoy on the edge, one-on-one.
Another great cut by LaShawn McCoy, huh?
55 yards on the ground for McCoy, and a couple of their big runs earlier were on those gadget plays to Deshaun Jackson. First carry today for Eldra Buckley, and he picks up a first down. The second-year back out of Tennessee, Chattanooga, spelling McCoy, and Buckley gains 13.
Just makes a good, quick decision and gets north and south right away.
I mean, it's no big secret. The Eagles are going to run the ball. They're going to work the clock. They're up by three scores. You have to go and play the run. And right now, it seems like they're still on their toes trying to defend the pass.
From the 43-yard line of the Falcons. This is Buckley once again. Let's check in on the Packers and the Dolphins with Kurt.
Well, the Packers definitely a different team than the Eagles saw week one. They're struggling with injuries and looking like it right now against the Dolphins. Chad Henne hooking up with Anthony Fasano on a 22-yard score. And they're at Lambeau. The Packers are down by a touchdown with 5 minutes left to go to the Dolphins. Can he move some goods?
You know, one of the big injuries this week, and it's good to see Aaron Rodgers on the field after suffering that mild concussion, but Jermichael Finley. I mean, that really changes Green Bay's offense. And he is such a dynamic player from the tight end spot. That's going to be a tough one if he has to go on IR.
Second down and 4. McCoy found a hole, picks up another Eagles first down. We saw Buckley carry the ball twice. Eagles traded Mike Bell to Cleveland. Backup running back this week for Jerome Harrison, who came close to 900 yards for the Browns last year. Harrison practiced the last couple of days with the Eagles, but not active for today's game. You talk about the Dolphins leading the Packers on the road. Miami making their way through the tough NFC North. They've already won a game in Minnesota this year. Under 10 minutes remaining here in Philadelphia. The Falcons 28-yard line. McCoy cuts it back inside.
Long day for Brian Van Gorder and his group. They just have never been able to get into a rhythm. And Marty Mornhinweg has been one step ahead of his group all afternoon, and he gives you a lot to think about. Marty Mornhinweg does. So, and this defense knew that. You talk to the guys, and they're like, hey, they throw everything at us, and we got to be ready for screens and boots and gadget plays. And well, I bet you they got some things today they didn't even expect to get. Just a great game plan, good play calling. They've kept Atlanta on their heels all afternoon.
The Falcons defense that had allowed only 14 points per game coming in. This is Buckley. Buckley down to the 26-yard line. Gain of 3.
And we got to talk about King Dunlap. You know, they have done some things to protect him, but that was a concern coming in. And he's done a good job. He's had some help with some play calling and some designs and some different things. But there's been a number of times during the course of this afternoon that he's been one-on-one with John Abraham, one-on-one with a pass rusher from the outside, and he's done a nice job.
He really has. For his first start, I'll tell you, I was really looking at him as a weak link on that offensive line, but he really surprised me.
First career start goes filling in for a 3-time Pro Bowler in Jason Peters. 3rd down and 7. Cobb rolling to his right. He throws, and the catch is made by Jeremy Maclin. He's had a big day. Macklin gained 6, and Cobb goes over 300 yards for the 3rd time in his career. Remember, last season he became the first quarterback ever to throw for at least 300 in his first 2 career starts.
All right, Tony, tell him he's got to aim it to the right upright.
I'm going to go stand under the upright.
Inside the right upright. Started on the inside of the right upright. Let it drift back to the middle.
Right here on that. That's good.
No. Is it going to go that way?
Yeah.
Lakers 0 for 2.
Come on, Goose.
Wide left for the 3rd time today. Hi, Goose.
Over here. He didn't see me, Darryl.
Wasn't aiming for you, I guess. Uncharacteristic afternoon for Akers.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, let's build something together.
Mid-4th quarter here in Philadelphia. David Akers has now missed all 3 of his field goal attempts today.
And that is very surprising. He's got a strong leg, and we were talking during the break, and his leg may be strong enough where he doesn't have to play it outside and let that wind blow it back.
Ryan complete to Ronnie White. White picks up the first 21 yards. Jenkins' 5th catch. Falcons keep.
Matt got it right over the outstretched fingertips.
21 yards. Jenkins' 5th catch. Falcons keep it.
Matt got it right over the outstretched fingertips.
21 yards. Jenkins' 5th catch. Falcons keep it up.
Matt got it right over the outstretched fingertips.
21 yards. Jenkins' 5th catch. Falcons keep it on.
Got it right over the outstretched fingertips.
21 yards. Jenkins' 5th catch. Falcons keep it on the ground.
Got it right over the outstretched fingertips.
21 yards. Jenkins' 5th catch. Falcons keep it on the ground.
Right over the outstretched fingertips.
21 yards. Jenkins' 5th catch. Falcons keep it on the ground.
Right over the outstretched fingertips.
21 yards. Jenkins' 5th catch. Falcons keep it on the ground with Snelling. Down the line, Coleman after a gain of 9. By the way, guys, for David Akers, first time in his terrific career that he has missed 3 field goals in 1 game. He's been with the Eagles for the entire Andy Reid era. He's represented them in 4 Pro Bowls and never missed 3 in a game. 2nd down and 1. Ryan looking for Jenkins. Deflected twice. First by Dimitri Patterson. And then Coleman. And Coleman is shaken up.
This will be a tough spot here because Philadelphia only has the 3 safeties healthy.
He's going to get the wind knocked out of him there on the fall.
Yeah, right on his back.
Yeah, gets the legs knocked out. Boom, right on his back.
So we'll take a break with the Eagles medical staff tending to Kurt Coleman. Many of these fans getting ready to perhaps head across the street. Game 2 of the NLCS tonight on Fox. Eagles lead the Falcons 28-10. 3rd down and 1. Pass is caught by Harry Douglas for a Falcons 1st down. From the Eagles 23. Ryan complete once again. It's Douglas out of bounds after a gain of 5.
Matt Ryan's going to have to throw the ball downfield at some point. I mean, he's hitting all these little out routes, 5 and 10 yards. He's clipping here and there, but I mean, you got to go for the end zone. You got 6 minutes left and counting, and you know, you need 3 scores. So it's not a lot of time.
Oh, there's a hold. Throws it into the end zone, and Michael Jenkins drew a flag.
Well, it took a while. We've seen Asante Samuel play these routes very, very aggressively. He's going to jump something if he sees it.
Holding, number 22, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
With a guy like that, you run a double move on him. They do the slant and go. And it's a smart play by Asante Samuel. Don't let it get over the top for a touchdown. Take the penalty.
Eagles penalty. Falcons have committed just 2. From the Eagles 13, Ryan fires, and the catch is made for a touchdown, second of the day for Gonzalez.
Well, you're not going to miss it twice, and it's kind of the same spot on the field we saw in the first half, and they missed Tony Gonzalez. Watch Jaquay Parker, number 75. He's going to drop back and try and get underneath this, a big defensive end, but he loses sight of the ball. He put his hands up on his head. He's like, uh-oh.
That's sort of the matchup that you want right there. Jaquay Parker, I'll tell you what, he didn't do a bad job. He just needs to keep getting depth and chance at a pick.
Well, he just needs a ball call from one of his guys so he can just stick his hands up. You know, he's big enough to affect the throw by Matt Ryan, but...
Now a 2-possession game. Eagles lead by 11. Well, Fox's football coverage doesn't end when the games are over. Stick around following the Cowboys and the Vikings for the OT with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Jimmy, and Michael. We'll bring you exclusive interviews, extended highlights, and a look ahead to next week's action. America's #1 postgame show, the OT, presented by Lowe's, coming up after the Cowboys and the Vikings on Fox. 7-play drive. Tony Gonzalez with his second touchdown reception today.
What do you do, Goose? Onside? Kick it deep and play. You got 3 timeouts.
I kick it deep and play. But he's got to come at him. You got to blitz a little bit. You know they're going to go with the run, get some guys up on the line of scrimmage, maybe get a ball not be knocked out or something like that. Can't play him soft like they've been playing him, though, Daryl.
No, but see, I like kicking it deep in this situation because if Philadelphia's got their onside kick formation out. Now they're motioning somebody to come up. They think they've got something figured out.
He's got the wind in his face, though.
Falcons attempt the onside kick. Ball is loose. Looked like Bierman had a chance.
Now it's just a free-for-all down there because that ball was loose on the ground. Jason Avant did a great job because he saw something pre-kick, and he motioned one of the deep guys to get up to the right side.
Goose, I ask you this every time. What's going on down there?
Right now, you're trying to leverage for the ball right now. You know the officials don't see it. Said the Eagles got it back.
They did.
Now watch this. It's going to land in between the 2 Eagle defenders. They collide in there, and now it's right there. It's on the ground. But they didn't have enough guys to the spot. Coy Wire, 52, a little bit late getting in there. Now he's gonna burrow down there and see if he can get it.
Yeah, right. You know, when this pile happens, like right here, guys are reaching in there, grabbing fingers, trying to get the ball out into the open, trying to bring it close to their body, especially in a pile like this. Nobody wants to come off because guys are maneuvering down there to get the ball. So the longer that you stay in the pile, the better chance you have, especially, you know, when you're the onside team.
Well, they didn't get it out wide enough on the field either, Tony. You know, it ended up being just outside the numbers, and that kick, you want it out closer to the sideline because that's where you put all your guys. You see Sean McDermott's not happy right there the way that defense gave up a quick 7 points, just 1 minute and 41 seconds on that last drive.
He wants to be able to go home tonight. Sleeps at the Eagles practice facility Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights.
Jeremy Maclin was out there on the onside kick team. He's played well this afternoon, and it's been important because there was just a violent collision in the first half of the game with Dante Robinson and Deshaun Jackson. Both players helped off the field, both with a head injury. Deshaun was ruled out right away. Dante Robinson was listed as questionable. We haven't seen him back, and you can see what Jeremy Maclin has done. The big 83-yard touchdown play in the 3rd quarter. The one thing that Philadelphia has is they have some explosive skill players. And the question today coming in was, how will this offensive line do against Atlanta's defense? They've done a great job there. Kevin Cobb has done an excellent job of hitting the big plays. It's designed, it's practiced all week, and then you got to execute it on Sunday. And he's done a great job of finishing all those big shots down the field.
Second and 10 from the Falcons 44. Buckley. Takes it down to the 40. 5.5 remaining. Fourth quarter.
When that guy runs, Tony, I don't think he gets tackled. I think somebody just gets in his way.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's just straight ahead, 100 miles an hour.
Falcons using their second timeout.
We showed you earlier in the game all the transition that's happened with Philadelphia's offensive line from their starting 5 at training camp to where they are right now. And there's a nice afternoon by that group. 4.5 per carry, only 1 sack. Juan Castillo's done a great job with his guys because he's been dealt a pretty tough hand with the amount of change he's had to deal with. And again, the way that they took care of King Dunlap out there in his first start, play calling, and then King himself has done a great job when he's had the opportunity to be one-on-one.
Cobb steps up on 3rd and 7 and finds his man for a first down. Brent Selleck, who takes it all the way down to the Falcons' 17-yard line. Selleck gaining 24.
Well, we've talked about all the different ways they've protected King Dunlap, but, you know, eventually he's just got to go. He's got to play one-on-one against Jonathan Abraham. And there's a real nice job. I mean, Jonathan didn't get close.
There's a nice job of extending his arms, Darryl. He's got long arms. I mean, and if you just go and get that on a defender, it's so difficult to go and rush the pass or even get around him because he's so mammoth of a human being.
From the Atlanta 17, it's Buckley. We check in on the Packers and the Dolphins once again with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Thank you. Well, the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers quarterback sneak on 4th and goal with 16 seconds left, ties up the Dolphins. They go to overtime for the 2nd straight week to the Packers, this time tied at 20. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Overtime in Green Bay. These Falcons know a thing or two about overtime. They've already gone to overtime twice this season, losing in Pittsburgh, winning in New Orleans. Cowboys and Vikings coming up from Minneapolis. Game 2 of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Cowboys coming into play today, 1-3. Eagles, Redskins, Giants all tied atop the NFC East. Giants lead the Lions by 8. Redskins in action later tonight against the Colts. Buckley running left.
Darryl, living in Dallas, you got Dallas and Vikings. What do you think about that game?
I think Dallas has always been a real good back-to-the-wall team the last couple of seasons, Tony. They did it down in New Orleans last year when everybody was questioning how they were going to play in the month of December because they had struggled. They did it earlier this year in Houston, where they started out 0-2. So I feel good about Dallas going up to Minnesota.
You got another week, though, with Randy Moss. Him coming back, you think he'll be a factor in the game?
Well, you know, he's had some great games against Dallas, so you know we'll have to wait and see. But he's only been in there a couple of weeks. He's got to get acclimated. You know, the big question is how does Brett Favre's elbow hold up during the course of the game?
Yeah, he was struggling last week with that, holding it after every pass there in the 4th quarter. I'll tell you what, though, the team that loses this game today, I think struggles the rest of this season. I don't think they can recover from it.
It'll be difficult, but you know what? If you're going to have a slow start, this is the year to have that slow start because nobody's really separated themselves. I mean, Chicago and Atlanta were the 4-1 teams. Both of them look like they're going to lose today. So that brings them down to 4-2. Nobody in the NFC is starting to assert themselves as the team to beat.
Curtis Lofton is the injured Falcon. Here's David Akers, first Eagle place kicker to miss 3 field goal attempts in one game since Steve DeLine, November of 1989 against Minnesota.
It goes left. It goes left.
One more time, baby.
Here's where this one's going.
It goes left.
And he has not been a happy camper all day today.
Helmet also went left.
Quick.
That was an ear pad.
We got to. If you're a Falcon fan, you need to hope that Curtis Lofton is just shaken up right now. Sean Witherspoon inactive for the game today. That'd be two of the 3 starting linebackers for Atlanta down.
talking about teams in the NFC, can't take the Eagles out of it, though, after the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks.
No, not after today's game.
Yeah,
I think when you talk to a lot of people around the country, hey, who are you looking at the NFC? A lot of people talked about Atlanta. And I think this was a big game for them. Let's see what they do on the road against Philadelphia. A team that at 3-2 maybe surprised a few people. And they came in today with an opportunity to really kind of say, hey, you know what? We're the best team in the NFC. And Philadelphia was having none of that today.
The consistency on the offensive line was the question in everybody's mind, at least in my mind. And now with King Dunlap in there, I'll tell you what, he's playing pretty well. I mean, you pointed out some of the things he's doing. I mean, they tried to hide him a little bit with a tight end next to him, but when he had one-on-one against Abraham, he did pretty good. And I think they're getting better. I think he's made that offensive line better.
Timeout is called by the Eagles, so Akers with some extra time to think about his upcoming attempts.
Well, it was an explosive afternoon for the Philadelphia Eagles. Deshaun Jackson on the end around. A two-play drive to start the game. Philadelphia jumps out to a quick 14-0 lead with a deep pass down the middle. 21-0 at half. Fits one in tight to Jeremy Maclin. Atlanta trying to get back into it. They get it to Tony Gonzalez. And right when it looked like maybe Atlanta was going to force the issue a little bit, Kevin Cobb hits Jeremy Maclin on an 83-yard touchdown pass.
And now a 30-yard attempt. Akers is 0 for 3, wide to the left on all 3 attempts. Rocket places it down, and the kick by Akers is good.
He just drove this one right through the uprights, Darryl. He wasn't playing the wind at all. And at 30 yards, he doesn't need to.
Now, he's always had one of the strongest legs in the NFL. And that's good just peace of mind right there.
Yeah, you don't want your kicker getting in the slump. If he does, you want the slump only in this game and then right out of it. And I think that took him right out of it. You'll see when he goes to the sideline, maybe he'll get a couple more friends and won't have to sit by himself anymore.
Wearing a different cleat on that attempt as we head west once again to Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Just a reminder that when you guys are done, America's Game of the Week comes your way. Randy Moss and the Vikings desperate for a win, but then again, so are the Dallas Cowboys. Each team at 1-3 and needing a victory to keep any postseason hopes alive. Game 2 of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader when you guys are finished. Kenny, Moose, and Bill.
Kurt, I know that you know that no team has ever started a season 1-4 and gone to the Super Bowl.
But they have started 0-4 and gone to playoffs.
5 1-4 teams have actually won their divisions over the last 2 decades, but
I can never one-up them, Goose. I tried.
They have not reached the ultimate goal.
All I know is all records are meant to be broken and are broken eventually. I remember, Darryl, when I was playing with Baltimore, they said no team has gone 5 games and not scored a touchdown and won a Super Bowl. They can't say that anymore either.
You guys did it back in 2000. Williams takes it in with 3:01 remaining.
Big reunion next week for me, Darryl.
I know, 10 years.
Yeah,
it's amazing, isn't it?
It's how fast does that go? 10 years ago, won the Super Bowl. Man. I look for my gray. I think I got gray hair now.
Many of you guys will be getting together in Baltimore next weekend prior to the Ravens game.
It'd be great to see all the guys that you played with, and Darryl, you got 3 teams that you get to go and bring back, and so it's just going to be nice to see you guys.
Ryan firing downfield on first down, and the catch is made by Roddy White. Asante Samuel had a chance, and White gains 26.
Good concentration by Roddy White on the deflection off Asante Samuel.
The 45. Ryan that time looking for Michael Jenkins. And Ryan returning to Philadelphia, playing in this stadium for the 3rd time. Came on in relief as a freshman with Boston College in a game against Temple. Also during his rookie season in 2008, threw a couple of touchdown passes, but Falcons lost that game to the Eagles 27-14. And then last year, when the Eagles played in Atlanta. Ryan missed the game due to injury. Chris Redmond started for the Falcons. Ryan hit from behind. Trent Cole has been applying tremendous pressure all game long. And this is the second Falcons turnover today.
Well, and this is one of those plays where you didn't hear a whistle, so the ball's on the ground. Go recover it. Watch all the Atlanta Falcon players.
All the offensive linemen just standing there looking at the ball.
Yeah, it's
right in front of you.
Yeah.
Go, let's go. Todd McClure, just like it's right in front of him. Get down on the ball. 62 right there to center.
Second sack for Trent Cole. The forced fumble and the recovery by Darryl Tapp. Well, for those of you in the home markets of the late game, in a moment you will be leaving this one, and we will switch you to the start of your game.
As a quarterback in the NFL, you got to have a little bit of something about you. And that's when I talk about intangibles with Matt Ryan. He is a competitor. He is not happy with that call. He felt that his arm was coming forward. It should have been an incomplete pass. They have no timeouts. You can't challenge it. You're outside of 2 minutes.
The Eagles take over. Cobb handing off to Buckley. Buckley down to the 44-yard line. Great job by our entire crew today here in Philadelphia. Our producer Barry Landis, director Michael Frank, associate directors Jeremy Green and Darren Foster, associate producer Chirag Devaskar, technical producer David M. Hill, technical director is Beepin Vidge. As the clock winds down to the 2-minute warning, thanks to Lou Tribbiani, Carlos crunching the numbers, Larry Hockhauser, Ricky Camps, and Matt Banovic as well. Not a happy homecoming for Matt Ryan back in his hometown at the 2-minute warning with his Falcons trailing by 2 touchdowns. All Eagles today. We'll be right back.
.com.
Big day for the Eagles, big day for Kevin Cobb. And a huge day on Fox. Cowboys and Vikings coming up, followed by the OT and then baseball.
And how about this? With Tampa Bay, Chicago, and Atlanta all losing today, that means everybody in the NFC has 2 losses. So the winner of Dallas, Minnesota is only 1 game back in the loss column after today. After all that, incredible. After the season's ending in the cities of Minneapolis and Dallas, you win today, you're 1 game back in the loss column.
And who knows, maybe a 1-4 team does reach the Super Bowl this year.
Well, this was an impressive team today. Andy Reid, he had his guys ready to play. It's kind of like every issue, almost every issue they had coming into today, they shored up. He was talking with Bobby April right there. They had a big punt return that led to a touchdown. Their offensive line played well. Stuart Bradley and the linebackers covered very well today against Tony Gonzalez and the running backs.
We're down at 5, Eldrick Buckley.
And with their big play guy, Deshaun Jackson, out of the lineup after that violent collision early in the first half, it came down to Jeremy Maclin, and he has a career day today. And the big one right here, the 83-yard touchdown in the 3rd quarter. Atlanta looked as though they might be poised to try and get back into this game. And Kevin Cobb and Jeremy Maclin just stole all the momentum right back for Philadelphia.
159 yards, 2 touchdowns. Eagles will go to 4-2. Giants 4-2 as well, following their win over the Lions. So Philadelphia and New York tied atop the NFC East. Redskins 3-2 in action later tonight. Eagles call timeout. Falcons will drop to 4-2. Eagles in Nashville. We will be on hand next week for the Eagles and the Titans. Then a bye. Then the Colts.
Yeah, 2 tough AFC South matchups and then 2 tough divisional games in the NFC East.
The Eagles will win at home for the first time this season. perfect on the road so far. An impressive performance by Philadelphia.
They did a great job. I was impressed, and we talked about the areas that were of concern for Philadelphia coming in. Did a nice job. Very surprised by Atlanta. You watched them on film, and they were very consistent, fundamentally sound. And Philadelphia, from the first drive, came out today and forced them to play an uncharacteristically mistake-prone afternoon.
Kevin Cobb celebrates, as do the Eagles and their fans. A 31-17 victory at home over the Atlanta Falcons. For Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, this is Kenny Albert saying so long. The Cowboys and Vikings coming up after these messages.
All right, really the only injuries, Deshaun has a concussion, and we'll just have to see. Obviously, it was a big hit on with both players. Neither came back, and hopefully they'll both be okay here. So we'll just see how it all works out. All in all, I thought it was a good win against what I think is a very good football team. We were able to get up on them early with some big plays. Kevin had a big day. 23 of 29 for 326 yards, 3 TDs. That's a good day. 133.6 quarterback rating. And then our defense had some big plays. Trent did a nice job. He had 2 sacks and looked like he was always around the quarterback there, and as were the other guys. And and then I thought we did well against the run, and were able to control that fairly well. And then special teams, Calvin got in. He had a nice return in there and did some good things. He was smart with decision making and so on. So I was happy to see that. Coordinators, I thought put together a heck of a game plan on all 3 phases. Plenty of things we can work on. There's never a perfect game. So you come out and we just got to keep pushing, get rid of some of the penalties and things that we had that stop drives and put us into situations that you can't be in. So we'll go back to the drawing board and look at those things and try to work it out and get better. Time's yours.
It sure looked like initially that Deshaun was a very big part of your game plan. How much did you have to switch things around?
Well, the other guys stepped up and were able to do some things, but he was early there. He was a big part of it, and he was on fire there. So he was off to a big day, and it's too bad it happened that way. He's a tough little nut, man, I'll tell you. So hopefully he's okay.
More violent collisions that you've seen in your time?
Listen, when they take both players off and neither come back, that's a violent collision. So,
are you worried at all about sort of the trend in the league right now? Those guys defensive backs are so fast; they're willing to launch themselves all the time. I mean, are you worried about the trend of how dangerous it's getting?
Well, I understand what you're saying. I think it's been that way. I think that. That position, you've got speed players, and then you've got some guys that can whack you when they get to you. So I don't think things have changed that way. But I think you're seeing some violent collisions throughout the league. But you've seen them. You look in over time. There have been some crazy collisions between safeties and wide receivers, safeties and defensive tight ends, and then corners and these wide receivers on crossing routes, and that's what that was there. So I can't tell. I don't know that. No, he was awake when I was out there. So I don't know that.
Did you see him after the game just now, Andy? Just how does he?
I haven't. No, I couldn't wait to get to see you guys get in there.
How will you evaluate King Dunlap's play today against Abraham and Babin on the left side of the talking point?
You know what? I thought Big King did a pretty good job. He had the one penalty there for hands in the face, and when a guy's trying to bull rush you, and you get, and you're 6'9", so sometimes that's going to happen. So, but I thought he bent well. I thought he delivered his hands in tight. He's got 35.5-inch arms, man. When he extends those, I'm not sure there's anybody in the league that can get into his chest. So. And then he battled all the way through, and I got to see the film, but I thought, for the most part, I thought he did a pretty good job. helped him a little. I mean, we helped equals, on both sides. So, but listen, I'm not taking anything away from him. He was solo out there quite a little bit too. So probably over 50% of the time. Well, we'll just see. We'll see how he does. He's made big strides. Today, I just had him. I just wanted him here. I gave him a little different time. He and I had visited yesterday, and I just if I needed him for an emergency snap, that's why I put him up as a third quarter. If I needed him for an emergency snap and goal line or short yardage, if two quarterbacks would go down, then I would have used him. So I just kept him in the locker room, kept him really away from going out on the field or doing anything. Just had him here in case there was an emergency. That's why he was up. But he again, he's making huge strides. So we'll see. We'll just see how it all works out. Well, this is listen. I wasn't going to let him get in a game and throw the football. That wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to let. He's not going to get hit, and I knew the chances of him getting in were slim to none. And so I didn't want him. He didn't need to be around here or anything else except for the game. And he was dressed and ready to go in the locker room, and that's all I needed. It was completely for an emergency situation. I already had receivers coached up if it was an extended, if we had extended play. So we had a package in for those guys to take snaps and do it. But that was completely an emergency deal.
You said you feel lucky to have two starting quarterbacks. Is Kevin's play making a tougher decision for you to start a quarterback?
Yeah, listen, I'm not much into telling you guys this, but this is a beautiful thing. I told you that before, and I'm gonna reiterate it. If you're sitting here as a chubby head coach in the National Football League and you got two good quarterbacks, you're a happy guy, man. That's a positive. That's a positive thing.
Pick one or the other, Andy. And I mean, obviously you changed your mind once. How do you make that call? What do you base it on when they're both playing this well?
Take Michael Cobb and we go play, baby.
Seriously, I mean, how do you make that call?
That's what I get paid to do, man. That's what I do. So I've got to, I'll make the right decision there.
Did you get Vic to practice this week? He was able to. Does he play on Sunday?
Yeah. As long as you guys want him to play, we'll play.
I mean, is he your starting quarterback?
Well, I told you that he was before. Yeah.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's a starting quarterback. Yeah.
Andy, Kevin lost his job after he got hurt because Michael played well, and Michael got hurt and Kevin's playing really well. How come?
It's a crazy thing, isn't it? And I might have, all kinds of surprises. All kinds of surprises. That's what's so great about it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Andy, is there any doubt as to who your quarterback will be if both are healthy?
I will promise you we'll have one of them out there.
Kafka's not in the
No.
And he ran the ball 38 times today and threw 29. Do you think that balance helped? You sort of love them to sleep with the Bond and Macklin as well.
Well, we threw it early. We got some good shots on them early, and I thought that was a positive. And so, and then we mixed up the run game in there. I thought LaShawn ran hard and aggressive. He had some big plays for us, and then we pulled him off and put Buck in there, and he ran like a wild man. So, when it was a good balance, I guess is what I'm saying.
What's the key to the run defense, shutting them down like that? Was there players who stood out, or the scheme?
Now, listen, you get into those situations, and that's a team effort right there. If you're going to stop the run, it's not one guy. You can say that for a sack. You can't say that about the run game. Everybody's got to rally to the football. I thought it was a complete team challenge for our defense, and they rose to it. That kid's a heck of a runner. We had him over at the Pro Bowl the last time we were coaching in it, and he's a heck of a player now. And be able to do that that's a real compliment to the defense.
How windy was it down there? Did that affect the kicking on that?
But actually switched. The wind switched. The first half we had the wind, and then for the first quarter, and then the second half we didn't have it for the third, going in the same direction, and had it for the fourth. But that end zone right there, it swirls. That one that David was kicking in, and listen, that's a freak thing. That doesn't happen David. And that's why I didn't. I came back and we kicked it and he made it. I mean, the chances of him missing 3 field goals are crazy. I mean, he's too good for that, and that just doesn't happen to him. So, and he felt like I talked to both he and Sav, and he was hitting it good, and it was on track initially, and then it blew from there. But
is it normal practice to have different players arrive at different times, given Michael's situation?
Okay, you're killing me with this. I told the kid to be here at 12:15. He showed up at 12:15. That was it. Don't worry about it. Okay, don't worry about it. Enjoy the win, man. Okay.
You said the Falcons were playing arguably the best football in the NFL. So does this win solidify where you think this young team and a team that's had some injuries where it's going?
Well, every week in this thing is a challenge. I mean, we know that. So this was a challenge this week. I'm proud of the guys for focusing in and taking, taking and playing their hearts out, and then next week's another challenge. So, but I still believe this is a heck of a football team that we were able to beat here, and they're very well coached and they play hard and aggressive football. We were able to get a few big plays on them and put them in a little bit in a bind, but that's a good football team right there, all phases of their game. So, but listen, next week you've seen the NFL's crazy right now. So next week is another challenge, and you got to focus in on that, and then rise to the occasion for that, and then you're off to the races.
Andy, they had a little momentum when Kevin hit Macklin down the left sideline there. Just talk about how that kind of regained control of the game for you guys and what you saw in that play, how it developed.
I'll tell you, that was a great call by Marty, man. We had the wind in our face at that time, and so we ran the ball the first play. We came back and we had been running the ball. We came back and took a shot there, and we got that corner to freeze. It was their second corner. 23 was out of the game at that time, so he froze and hesitated a little bit, and then Macklin got past him, and then Kevin double hitched it, and was able to get it out, and with some good power, because that wind, I'm telling you, that wind was that was an aggressive wind, but that was a heck of a call by Marty on that play. I was talking about that touchdown to Macklin. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he did. Yeah, he did. He's been playing well all year. I mean, he's. I know the year's young, but he's been playing well every game, and he's a heck of a player. He's strong after the catch. He was close on that first down there too, man. I mean, he tried to reach out and get that thing. That was a nice effort right there. But he's playing good football. Yeah.
You feel like they had a little momentum there, and you needed a big play on the other.
Yeah. Well, there was kind of. Yeah, we did. I mean, we needed something. We were stalling right there. So. And you got to keep firing, even if you're up. You've got to keep firing, and I thought that was a good job right there.
Andy, how tough was it for you to go into this game with just 3 defensive tackles? I mean, you talked about the chance of maybe signing on.
Well, no. Listen, and Owens did a nice job during the week. This had nothing to do with him. Sean had a package he wanted to use, and he put Teo in on that package, and we were able to actually get some good pressure on that, from that package, and. We had Tapp ready to go at defensive tackle if needed, and Brandon in case we had to jump him back inside. So last year, if you remember last year, we did the same thing. We went with 3 defensive tackles majority of the year, and so we did that. I've got confidence in those guys. Trevor's playing at a very high level, and Dixon has been playing well. So I think it was a good combination there.
Okay, Andy, you talked about the violence that we're seeing all over the league. Is that simply part of the game, or can the league do anything more to discourage that kind of thing?
I think the league's working on that, and the play. You know what? The players, they're trying not to take. I don't see a lot of cheap shots. I mean, this is just hard, aggressive, hard-nosed football, and these things are going to happen in this sport. This, again, this isn't tiddlywink. So I mean, it's a violent sport, and things are going to happen every once in a while. But I think the league's doing a good job, and but guys are bigger, faster, and flying around, and anyways, okay.
Talk about the 83-yarder to Jeremy Macklin and how it was set up to get the safety in the corner to bite on the play face?
Yeah, it was something that we had been working on for a while, and we had to just get the right situation for it. I thought beforehand Marty did an unbelievable job dialing up things at the right time today, and that was one of them. They were in a run emphasis type of defense, and we had a good little fake there and got the safety to jump it. And my mentality was if it was one-on-one, I was going to throw it, and it was none-on-one. So it was a nice surprise.
Kevin, it seemed like every time the Falcons were mounting some kind of answer, some kind of comeback, you guys were able to answer the call. How important was that?
It was very important, and we let a lot of stuff slip away, left a lot of points out there. My pick before the half was a huge turning point, so that was frustrating. But, defense answered, we answered at times, special teams answered, and so, that was another good team win. That's the kind you want to have.
This team was giving up 14 points a game. You doubled that. They were a top 10 defense. You saw what you could do out there. How difficult now, having done what you did today, is it going to be for you to go back to the bench?
Well, you always want to play, and we're excited about today, all of us. And we have confidence in whoever's out there, and I think that's the way the team approaches it. I really do, and I want to be out there. Again, I trust Andy to make the right decision, and for everybody. And we believe in that. And I tell you, I want to give credit to the offense though, because, and really the whole team, but whoever's in there, they've been fighting and doing a heck of a job for both guys. And it's not easy. Right-handed, left-handed, different styles, different cadence. So you have to give credit to them during the week of the preparation we have.
Kevin, there have been people that say you don't have, one of the problems with the shot is you don't have arm strength to throw it. Do you think you kind of answered that question a little bit today, throwing against the wind? Especially on that pass?
Well, I don't ever doubt it, and I think the guys, when they see me throw it in practice, and of course we've had some game breakers too, they don't doubt it either. So that's never a question on our part. But I guess if there needed to be an answer, then today was a decent day for it, and I was glad to get those big plays right off the bat, and it helped us get juiced up and keep it going.
Kevin, it seemed like once Deshaun came out, they brought a safety down in the box a lot more. How did you guys answer that?
Play calling was a lot of it, and shoot, the offensive line, not only in pass protection, but the way that we were able to run the ball there at the end and run some time down and get down there in the red zone, that was impressive, especially with how banged up we've been, so I know that there's going to be a lot of credit at my position, but I'm telling you, across the board, guys fought their tail off, and that's what's most impressive about this victory.
Kevin, has balance been the big difference with the offense success the last two games? You ran it pretty well.
Yeah, it's been part of it, and LaShawn and Buckley did a heck of a job tonight, and Schmidt, of course, blocking for him. But it opens up stuff for us, get one-on-one out there, and you know how talented our guys are when that happens, and we were able to do both things tonight or today.
You obviously lost your starting job because of injury and because of how well Michael played. Do you think it's fair that you get to continue as the starter because of the way you've played in this injury?
I'm not going to get into that. I know that it's a unique situation, but again, Andy, from my experience, Andy's always thought things through very thoroughly, and he always has a rhyme and reason, and they usually turn out the right way for why he does stuff. And so, again, I'll just trust and believe, and so will the teammates.
You achieved enough to merit being a starter?
Oh, I mean, I'm just out there trying to play the game. I mean, there was guys are patting me on the back, and there's 4 or 5 where I made some bonehead plays today. So you just concentrate on what you do and try to play the position the best you know how. Keep improving every week. That's all I can do.
When Sean got hurt, you went up. You were kneeling by his side there. 1, how did he look? And 2, having just gone through that, what advice would you give him?
Take it seriously, because it is serious, and shoot, I just felt so bad, because I'm part of the play, and never saw the guy, and was just hoping for the best. And I saw his arm move a little bit, and because they were messing with his neck, and it's just not ever a good situation when they're both laying like that. And hope their guy's okay as well. But Deshaun's a tough guy. I know he'll be back out there when he can, but we have to take this concussion thing super serious, because it is.
Kevin, when you got injured the first game, and you were sat out for a couple days, did you learn anything? Did you see stuff? Did that give you a chance to maybe take a step back so you could, come back now and you're 44 of 60 for the last 2 games?
Yeah, one thing that I really saw stepping back was the way Mike plays the game. To be honest with you, he's out there just playing the game, and sometimes as a quarterback, you want to execute things so efficiently, and you want to get it in the right guy's hands and all that kind of stuff. You forget to just play the game, and I think that's kind of what Mike helped me with, and so that's what I keep reiterating myself all the time. That's what you've been, I've been doing that for a lot of years now, and just go out and play the game, and don't worry about all the execution things and who to get the ball to. Think through your stuff, but play the game.
Do you think you got caught up in all the football leading up into that game and finally being the guy to replace Donovan? Is that?
No. I don't think it's that at all. I think it was just wanting to be perfect with my execution. It's more on me. It's just more like a perfectionist that I am. And I think it helps me at times too. But there's a balance. There's a really fine line with letting it go and trying to be, perfect with everything. So, Vic up to that point hadn't gotten a whole lot of reps and just stepped in, played the game, and when you go back and watch film, there was some, there's little things where you go, man, he's just playing ball. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. There was, that's what I had to get back to, and it helped me get back there. No, I never lacked confidence because although people don't see it, training camp practices, and of course my couple games that I've played in, there's just certain things that click, and you go, okay, the game slowed down a lot. I saw that perfectly. When you do that, that's what confidence is. It's not the touchdown passes. Whenever you see things clearly, and that's what a quarterback always wants to get to, and that's what I think that both of us have found.
So if you're the head coach, who's your starting quarterback?
I'm not getting into that. No way.
Kevin, you had the 300-yard games last year. How would you compare your comfort level today and how you felt to those two? Is this as good as you think you played?
Very similar. Today was the game was pretty slow to me. I thought I saw things very clear, and that's what's important. And when it gets like that, that's when you start getting in a rhythm, and you trust things. So I thought I had some of that last year, and I feel like I have some of it this year. There's always, like I said, there's always stuff to improve on. There's 4 or 5 of them out there that I let slip away today.
Kevin, how good was the offensive line protecting for you today?
Unbelievable. I mean, they really were. The one sack was my fault, totally my fault. So in my mind, they gave up no sacks. And, again, the running game and the way they've been able to patchwork guys in and out of there, and for King to step up and do the job he did. And not only that, but the play calling and the setting up certain things at certain times to help those guys out. Marty and the rest of the staff do a heck of a job with that kind of stuff. So we always have confidence in whoever's out there.